clearly CGI. How did they get a camera outside the galaxy?
I did it. I put on my secret Iron Man suit and went for a fly. Well, hello and welcome, everybody. I think we're going to appear. There we are. Hello and welcome, everybody. It's Friday night, new time slot, and it's the Silly Shill Show. We'll be coming at you at this time on Friday from now on because we're getting it more geared towards, different time zones and everything. So, enough crap. We've got BlueMarbleScience and Brainy Beaver sitting at the table tonight, so it's going to be a shit-kicking, stupid good time. Absolutely. Now, I think I've already babbled enough, but we got not only Aimee Hogan, we've got Elia Moon on the show tonight too, and we've got Bull producing and Tattie hanging out, being a debunker pal with us. What a mix-up. Who knows what's going to happen? So let's hand it over to somebody that just might know what could happen. The one guy you can count on to destroy a galaxy just because he wanted to change the channel on his television. Mind power indeed. Kevin Kennedy, how's it going, buddy?
Mind powers aside, you got to stop assuming I know what the hell's going on.
It's just a lie that hopefully they believe.
No, I'm doing good though. I'm really excited for tonight. I'm in a real fighting mood. I cannot wait to get to some stupid. But before we do that, we'd better go around the table here and see what everybody's up to. First of all, as always, got to ask how you're doing, Dick Dawson.
Oh, Oh, doing great. Got a new series that'll be coming to my channel here. Simple Thoughts with Dick Dawson, and just examining some really easy ways that you can show how stupid some of these pseudoscience peddlers can be. First episode should be up in about 24 hours or so. It's almost ready to go. It's pretty exciting. Can't wait. Watch this space, everybody.
Awesome. I look forward to that. I've seen some teaser stuff for it, and it looks super awesome.
Thanks, man.
And going around the room here, let's see. Oh, why are all the guests up top? I'm just going to go in the order it's in the meat here. Ilya, how are you today, my dear?
Hi, I'm good. I'm really excited. This weekend's going to be a good weekend for me. And next week, I'm going to finish my Speak Out project that I've been working on now for a month. I've had to pause it for some things, but next week we are going to be closing that out, and there will be a video coming soon.
Excellent. I look forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've had a rough couple of weeks there, but about to finally start to get settled down soon, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I actually I had to leave and come and stay with my parents for a little bit, but I got my own place and I move into it tomorrow. So I'm going to have a massive dance party by myself tomorrow night in my new place.
Excellent. I will join you in spirit.
Yay.
And coming from way, way back in the past when everything was dangerous and terrible, Logical Troglodyte, how are you today, sir?
Oh, I am wonderful. I just got done kicking the crap out of a moon landing denier. I'm taking aim at David Icke. Some stupid shit about the planet Saturn being a self-aware conscious entity. I don't fucking know, but it's gonna be fun.
Sounds good.
Conscious planets. That sounds awesome. Although it is David Icke, so maybe it won't be. I don't know. But either way, I'm excited to see it, man.
Yeah,
And
we'll see what shakes loose. And if anybody's interested, Logic and Reason will be coming back on the air before too much longer. We've gotten off schedule, but our guests have had a little life things happening. But when we know when our next show will be, we'll definitely let you know. Watch this space.
Absolutely. There's going to be big things going on the channel. So in general, keep an eye on this channel, guys. And all the way from Vietnam, we have Steaming Cup of Reason. How are you today, sir?
I am very good, sir. And how are you?
I am excellent. Very ready for tonight.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to this one.
Excellent. What's new in your part of the world?
Not a whole hell of a lot. Well, actually, no. The big thing happening out here now is the coronavirus scare, and it's got everybody freaking out. So this week has been a difficult one, and strange one. But what the hell? I'm back to work. Oh, good thing, I guess.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's some scary stuff going on. China's starting to look like that game Dying Light, and there's like a bunch of cruise ships that can't even dock because there's too many sick people on them. Rough stuff.
Absolutely. I get my temperature checked every day when I get to the office, and I have to wear a mask all day. And if I don't, I get suspended from work until the scare is lifted.
Fair enough. Yeah, gotta be safe, man. Gotta be safe.
Yeah, it's a serious thing.
Absolutely. And as Dick said earlier, not producing today on the panel as a debunker, we have Tattie-Bogle. How are you today, sir?
All right, troops. All right. How's it going? This is a fucking weird one for me, by the way. Sweet Jesus, I don't think I've been relaxed in a while. I'm loving it, though. Fucking doing good, man. I'm really looking forward to getting into some kind of fucking stupid here. And let's rip it a new one.
I'm stoked to have you with us on this, man. It's fun enough to watch you laugh at us being frustrated, but now you get to be frustrated with us. And producing the show today, we have the one and only Booleanator. How are you today, sir?
I am doing very well today. I appreciate the introduction, and I am looking forward to streamlining this process a little bit more, but eventually we'll get there to the point where it's just load and go. Hopefully load and go. But anyway.
Yeah, there was a lot of plates spinning right before we got started there. Eh?
That was a dig at me that he just said there. It was like, holy fuck, can this guy overcomplicate shit or what? He just did it nicely.
Welcome to my world.
Oh, geez. All right. Well, somewhat keeping an eye on the chat. I don't know. I guess you and Delia are going to be kind of dividing this role, but joining us as usual, we do have Aimee Hogan. How are you today?
I am great, thank you. How are you?
I'm pretty good, thanks. What's new in your neck of the woods?
Not much really. We just had a 2-day storm here. First part was snow, second part was ice. So we're lucky we haven't lost power. So we lost internet earlier today, and I thought I wasn't going to be able to make the show, but so far so good. We're doing good, thank you.
Excellent, good to hear. I hear the weather side of things. It's been snowing for about 2.5 days straight here. It's not great.
No, it's not fun at all. Oh, and I also want to say thank you to Big Blue and Brainy Beaver for coming on tonight. Thank you, gentlemen. It's good to see you both. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Hello.
And
hello.
And speaking of, let's just go straight to our guest here. Brainy, how are you today, sir?
Well, thank you for thanking me for coming on, I guess. But I'm a shill for attention, so you just tell me where to be. But yeah, I'm doing okay tonight. So yeah, I'm okay. How's everybody else doing? Hope everybody's having a good time. If you haven't seen my video, go check it out. There's 77 people watching. Maybe you haven't seen it.
I saw it. It was awesome, man. That was really well done. I was laughing my head off.
I enjoyed the episode. I think it's one of the better ones. It's definitely a little shorter, but it's because there's a lot of mashing going on there. He didn't have anything to talk about. So like, I kind of one of those things where you pick the person and you're into it and you're like, God, this is the worst decision I've ever made in my life. This person is just drier than a, drier than a pork chop that's been cooked all night. Like, it's just, it was bad. But yeah, I made it fun. What do you do?
All right, fair enough. And awesome. also joining us today, we have Blue Marble Science. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you guys? Good to be with the silly Shills.
It's always good to have you, man. Always good to have you. What's new in your neck of the woods?
Oh man, I spent the week trying to slap the stupid out of a quantum eraser, and that turns out to be a full-time job.
I don't think that you can actually hit him hard enough.
We'll see. We'll see. It's been fun.
Definitely. Are you done with him yet, or do you have some more to do?
Oh hell, you'll never be done with quantum eraser.
I was going to say the problem with quantum eraser is his head is made out of rubber like all other erasers. So yeah.
He always bounces back for more. That's damn true, man.
And just thinking here, I think we've got all the way around the room. However, we have some housekeeping to do, don't we?
Yes, we do. I think we should turn to one of the people who are definitely better at this than we are and get some super chats in.
Absolutely. The first one comes from John Rapp, and it's for Australian $5. And he says, "Good day to everyone. Had to leave my mate Planner Walk to get here. Please be awesome again. Dance for me, peoples. Have at it, Laser Brain." And then Factard gave us one for Canadian $2.79 for Tattie's English lessons. Love you, Tattie.
Like 50 cents or something.
Yeah.
English lessons on you more than fucking that, son.
I've been meaning to make that spot out of a Euro trip where they we only have like 250. What can we do with 250? And it's and they're in Bratislava though. So next thing you know, they're in this 5-star hotel and there's a bunch of people bringing in meals under plates, under covers and stuff. And so I've been meaning to make that as a little GIF that pops up only when I get American money. It's more of a joke, obviously. It's not worth that much more. Jesus.
By the way, guys, I think we missed a super chat.
Probably.
Did we?
I was talking,
No, there was
just came in.
No, but
no, there was another one. There was
there was
one from Punchy in between John and.
You don't read Punchies. That's why we didn't see it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I've got Punchy blocked, so I wouldn't see it, right?
Maybe that's why I don't see Punchy. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Punchy.
no joke. Okay, well, we'll find it.
I
got
do
it right
have
here.
it. It's right here. It's
Okay.
He gave us $2 Canadian. Sorry about that, Punchy, and thank you for the support. He says, "Who's that new shill? She sounds sexy." And then we just got a second one from from John Rapp as well. I'll find that for you too. He says, "Oh, Aimee, holding too many leashes? How many leashes? Awesome, girl. And good day to Big Blue and our honorary brainy platypus." That was for Australian $5. Thank you so much, John.
I always keep wondering to myself how many people think I don't know what a beaver is because my intro thing is a platypus, and like the other image on my thing there, Brainy Beaver, and I had obviously a groundhog on the front of it too, and so it's like I keep thinking how many people don't know the joke, and they're like, fucking idiot.
Yeah, I wonder. There could be a few. I mean, it would be pretty hard for somebody debunking to not know these basic animals, but yeah, a few might, not get it.
Like Screaming Beaver, Scheming Beaver Productions is a fucking marmot or something like.
Yeah, I love that though. It's so funny. Every time I see it, I just bust a nut laughing. Fuck, it's good.
I took the MGM logo and modified it so that it didn't have anything MGM left on it, and then put the beaver in the middle, or the marmot, whatever.
Yeah, I had seen that beaver, the green screen of that, and I had been thinking to myself, there's got to be a way to use this for a good gag, and then you brought that out, and I was like, fuck, he beat me, shit, because I was trying to use it too, but I couldn't figure it out.
It's not actually a green screen shot of that original. That's actually a real shot. It's just if you see the original, he's just going meep, like he's just got two little baby little chirps come out of him that not that.
That's funny. All right. Now, I know a few of us here were really geared up about this video. The first one, I if I remember correctly, was radio waves prove a flat Earth. I can barely even say it.
Well, didn't you know they bounce off the firmament? I figured that out with Vlad the other day.
That is really, really good. So what do you got? I guess it's time. Should we kick in a video here and get to it?
Yeah, let's start the stupid.
Yeah. I'm scared because radio waves prove the globe.
On December 1901, Guglielmo Marconi received a radio transmission across the Atlantic Ocean at a distance of 2,135 miles. A lot of people told Marconi that it was impossible to send a radio signal that far due to the alleged curvature of the Earth. In fact, under the globe model, most skeptics were right, there would be a curvature drop of 527 miles over that distance. A drop of 527 miles is huge. Do you think that radio signals traveling at the speed of light can jump a curvature that size? The distances of radio transmissions have gotten much further since Marconi, again proving there is no curvature. Every time no curvature is proven through actual experimentation, mainstream
radio waves in an atmosphere will have limitations.
Science imaginary new reason.
God damn it. Okay.
What's really frustrating with this is he's using history.com, which I have up here, the exact same page. Marconi's greatest achievement came on December 12, 1901, when he received the message sent from England at St. John's, Newfoundland, sent from England as St. John's, Newfoundland. The transatlantic transmission won him worldwide fame. Ironically, detractors of the project were correct when they declared that radio waves would not follow the curvature of the Earth, as Marconi believed. In fact, Marconi's transatlantic signal had been headed into space when it was reflected off the ionosphere and bounced back down toward Canada.
Thank you.
Okay, so when I was a kid, I don't know, a lot of people don't know this, but when you're in colder climates, Kennedy will have more experience with this, but I live in a colder part of Canada than him. The colder it gets, the less moisture there is in the atmosphere in the winter and the clearer the skies. It makes it really good for watching stars, looking at the moon, all kinds of things. But one of the other things it does is it creates the effect where it's very easy to bounce a radio signal off the atmosphere and receive it. So, like, I could literally drive around as a teenager even and tune into radio stations on a clear winter night. I could tune in with my friends, and like sometimes to the point where it was like clearer than the local station to like Texas radio station, or sometimes one time I listened to LA. We just sat parked in the vehicle and listened to an LA radio station. And my dad, as a police officer, would they would have problems sometimes where he said, of course, they were a little town police department, and they would be talking to each other, and they would be interfering with the police radios, because back then they didn't have the same kind of radio setup. So everything kind of, if you were on the same band, you just heard it. And so they were like trying to like chase people like in like big cities in the States. And he said every once in a while you hear like, "Shut up, Canada," because they were trying to fucking talk to each other and they couldn't even hear each other. So yeah. Anyway, that's the end of that. So like literally, like this is the huge. That's how big of a thing it is to be. I mean, you can do it. The movie's Contact starts like that, where she's circling parts of the globe or America, and he goes, "Oh, it's the farthest one yet." That's all she's doing. She's bouncing it off the atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah,
You can do that here in Maine too. I used to be able to pick up the Boston stations all the time in the wintertime because, like you said, the air is drier, it's clearer, you know, and those radio waves can really stretch. And I used to pick up Boston all the time.
Well,
yeah, and if it's cold and clear, you'll get them like really good. It's really shocking. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's like, whoa, back the vehicle up 2 feet. You know, like it's, but you'll get them.
Well, you know, at nighttime in particular, you'll get that kind of bounce coming off the ionosphere, and you know, I received tested for and got an amateur radio license in 1961. Let me tell you, I mean, you can get some weird shit happening, and I'll also say that in the first 20 seconds of what we just heard, there was enough stupid to handicap a medium-sized goddamn country. Jesus Christ. Everybody knows this happens. What do you hear at night on an AM radio? You hear shit you don't hear any other time. Where is it coming from? It's bouncing off the fucking ionosphere. Sorry, people. That's the way it works.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody's lived it, especially if you've got a few years under your belt, like some of us, you know, because back in the day, radio was a big part of life.
Hell yeah.
You know, I remember very clearly, anytime you had one of those stations that you couldn't quite pick up all the time, only on, you know, sometimes it's better than others, but they had the damn songs you wanted to listen to, then you know, if you had that clear winter's night, or day or whatever, I guess it doesn't really matter, you always got a better signal and you could sit back and listen to those tunes that you were really wanting to groove. It's just, you know, yeah, man, we all did it, right?
Hell yeah. Hell
Dick, anything but a Canadian station, because they have to play, what is it, a certain percentage of always Canadian content. So every radio station in Canada plays fucking Nickelback.
Yeah. Oh God. and that also explains a few other Canadian artists that really didn't deserve the attention that they got. And it's because we have the CONCAN rules that I think that's what the acronym comes out to be. And you have this mandatory content, which is, you know, it actually stifles the free market, and therefore
the only thing I would say to that is that so the only reason we have that rule is because currently it wouldn't really. Okay, so we live in an environment now where it probably isn't necessary. And the good news is that we have enough decent and quality Canadian content, whether it be movies or music, that we don't really need. In fact, we actually generally, if you look at the top 40, listen to more of our music than we listen to American music. I mean, all the big artists will break through, but we have quite a lot of Canadian content on our top 40. And it has nothing to do with us wanting or having to listen to it. It has more to do with us wanting to listen to it. So where I'm going with this is, the original reason for that rule, though, was because you got to remember, America was a juggernaut for media before any other country had even dipped their toes in it. So the problem is, if you didn't do something to limit America's ability to push their content on Canada, because, of course, we have this massive border we share with them, what was going to happen is that we would have no identity because we would have just been absorbed into the American identity.
I'm not saying there wasn't a reason for it, but in my view of the world, you know, from kind of an insider as a musician and whatnot through the time, it was too heavily.
I'm sure it was limiting
right?
a business.
It was
but the thing is, now I don't think it matters.
Much, right? Yeah,
I don't think it matters as much now, though, because that's the thing. Like Dead Kennedy, if you actually look and go, I've done it. If you go look at the top 40 that's listened to in Canada, like it's actually mostly Canadian music. So, and that has, I mean, the minimum Canadian content is not even 50%. So the thing is, that's by choice of Canadians, not by design or by force or anything.
No. And there's that whole population thing, right? It's just going to happen. You're going to get more out of the States. Absolutely. Back to the whole, the radio waves though.
But I do agree with you. Nickelback, I mean, you know, it was my first content. I took a girl. It was coming to town. You know, we're young, first year college. I was like, hey, Nickelback, let's go. And it was fun, but it's Nickelback. You know, that's where it ends.
Can we remove Beaver from this chat?
Hey, I will tell you one thing about Nickelback. They may be Nickelback, but and maybe somebody out there's heard this. They actually put on one hell of a good concert show. There's pyrotechnics everywhere. I said that word wrong. I could feel the heat off the flames and shit.
And with that, I'm going to Ilya because she buzzed in.
There you go.
Well,
Do we have a buzz-in? Oh, was I supposed to log into a buzz-in? My apologies.
We've had some fun comments specifically about beavers. So Colin says we all love wet beavers.
Yay.
King Cruz said all beavers are CGI. Gosh of Heckfire says shut up, Canada. Ash Scott said, I'd make my own flat earth channel if I wasn't smart enough to see that it's dead metadata. Next time some red pill bullshit gathers steam, I'll get right on it. I got bills to pay. Roger Rabbit says the earth gets flatter at night. And quit asking me to sprinkle them titties said, around here AM radio is nothing but hellfire and high school football.
Really?
Sorry, what was that last username?
Really?
Ramstein has a good pyro show. That's funny.
That was
Quit asking me to sprinkle them titties. There you go.
I just love getting people to say that.
What a well-chosen username, right? Holy. I love it.
And Steaming Cup of Reason, you wanted in here as well, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly get back to the video topic here. This whole story about the first radio transmission, we studied this in the military. I was a radio operator in the Canadian Armed Forces, and this was the first thing we learned, how radio waves are propagated. Because in the field, you often have great distances between the communication center and the field commanders, and we need to be able to send signals to them. And we learned how to use various lengths of wires hung between two trees and upping our power and getting the message through. I mean, it's the old saying, no calm, no war. So yeah, I mean, this is not difficult stuff. It's easy as heck to understand. You're just sending it straight to the ionosphere and bouncing it back down.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what's worse, the page he's on says exactly that.
Yeah, but see, to them, though, in order to bounce something off of it, it has to be a solid object, because how could you ever bounce something off something that isn't physical?
Oh, oh my goodness.
Aimee, you wanted to get in here, right?
Yes, please, because we have a super chat from Digital Demonic Davros for Australian $2. He says, Beaver, be quiet. Blue needs the floor.
Yeah, I saw that. Love you too.
Love you, Beaver.
Fucking Davros, eh?
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Hush, Davros. Damn.
Rap, bro. Just kidding.
But I like listening to beavers.
Huh?
Yeah.
Does it sound like the ocean if you put your ear right up to it, or what?
Yeah,
that's pretty bad.
If you pick a beaver up and you hold it to your ear, you can hear her scream.
That's normally what would happen in that situation, probably.
Okay, Bull, we need some video here.
Yeah, that's right. We haven't even moved from the first paragraph or the first Okay, going forward.
Reasons why the Earth only appears to be flat. Due to Marconi, the ionosphere was imagined and created. Exhibit 14, Nicobine. Nicobine was a VHF, that's very high frequency radio targeting system used by German bombers in World War II. Nicobine was a line of sight targeting system. For this example, there were two beams, one from Stolberg.
Oh, did we just lose audio on the video or something?
I don't know.
Or we paused?
Are we? Okay, we can be paused.
Man, because I know where the prick's going with this one, and I'll just.
I paused because I wasn't. I paused because I wasn't sure if you guys could hear it. Can you guys hear the video?
Yep.
Oh yeah, we were good.
Okay, just make it
No
sure.
Name said the volume just dropped, but that was at the part where you paused. I'm pretty sure. So we're on track.
Okay, just making sure, because I did change something a little bit, and I wanted to make sure it was working. And I asked, and no one answered. So, All right, we'll go.
I didn't hear you. Oh,
We'll start again here. That's fine.
Can I drive? No.
No, you can't drive, Felix.
Located 443 miles away from the target, Derby, England. The second was from Cleve, 331 miles away from Derby. What's fascinating is that the leading government science advisor for Churchill, Frederick Lindemann, refused to believe that there was such a beam due to the curvature of the Earth. The advisor was right. There should have been a major problem with the curvature, as VHF beams do not allegedly wrap around the curvature. It turns out that the Nicobine system did exist, and people lost their lives because Lindemann believed in the curvature. But the fact remains that Nicobine was a line-of-sight targeting system. Accordingly, Wikipedia and other websites claim that the German bombers remained within line of sight of the two beams. What's the problem then? There absolutely should not have been a line of sight with the bombers. With hidden heights at approximately 64,844 feet and 117,504 feet, there was no way for these Nicobine systems to have line of sight with bombers that only flew at 19,200 feet.
what? Go ahead, Kevin.
Oh, I just want to point out that that the sentence he highlighted said more or less, and I think he should pay attention to that. But also to my pet saying in the chat, no, you can't. I can't take the Canada geese back because they don't listen to us.
No, man, they're mean too.
They are mean.
You get too close to a loon too. One time I zoomed up on a loon with its babies. That was a bad idea. Like turned off
really,
the and it was like, yeah, well, because it went from flight to fight. It turned around. It was like, go little ones. It turned at me and like did the thing where they like pop up on their, they jam their wings, and then it snapped at me with its beak. Man, those things are fucking sharp when it come at me like that. I was like, start to see it and jam away. I'm like, I'm out of here. See you later. No, those animals get nasty if you get real close to them.
Oh yeah.
Keep an eye on this fuckwit. I think he's using drop instead of hidden.
Do I hear Jaren, by the way? Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm not actually sure.
No, I don't think it's Jared.
I thought I heard Jaren for a second. I was listening to a live stream from Jaren and QE the other day, and I felt like punching somebody in the face. That's for sure.
It
was terrifying.
There's only two words Jarenism has ever said that's worth listening to, and that's interesting.
Yeah,
it makes me angry to listen to them talk. It's because they're so. Anyways, move forward.
I thought you were going to say good night.
Well, if it's okay, I'm just.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
go ahead, Aimee.
Is that okay? I'm sorry. Thank you. Just John Rapp gave us another Australian $2, and he said, "Love you, Beaver." Now, what have you got, Big Blue?
Oh, that's a good one.
Love you. Thank you very much, man. Logical Troglodyte, you wanted to get in here as well, didn't you?
Yeah, the first little bit of that segment that we finished up before he started going on into this other thing with World War II, he just hand-waved the ionosphere away. I'm sorry, that doesn't work for me. You're actually going to have to show me that the ionosphere is made up and created because we needed a reason. God, what was that guy's name way back in 90 something that did the high-altitude balloon and the first one to discover that there was actually layers of the atmosphere? This idiot's going to have to go back to square one and start figuring out how the atmosphere actually works. And then, unless I'm real mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong about this, Blue, this beam that he's talking about from World War II, everything he seems to be describing seems to be a description from sea level. It's almost as if he's never heard of something known as elevation.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah. I was wondering where he was going with that, because at first we were talking about sending radio waves, so I figured, like towers on the ground, and then he brought in airplanes and he was talking about distances. I'm like, but elevation, like it's higher. Point up.
Well, I was try to keep in mind that the bombers did not fly into Germany, land, and then taxi to the fucking target. That's not how they did it.
Right.
They actually flew at altitude and dropped the damn things, okay?
Yeah, they didn't just stop and get tea.
You mean they didn't radio ahead and tell them they were coming?
Yeah.
Now we get serious issues with this arsehole already, man. For a start, he just stop trying to pronounce words that you don't fucking know. It's not fucking Derby. It's fucking Derby. I know it's fucking spelt Derby, but fucking listen to any bastard in the fucking country that you're fucking talking about and fuck off. It's fucking Derby. And as for this fucking crinkle, nickel, fucking shacking bine thing that you're going on about, fucking get a clue, you prick.
I do think what's amazing, not to shift from that, I do think what's amazing is the difference in technology from back then. You know, we had to bounce signals, which is, let's face it, we still detect planes the same way. But what I'm getting at is, like, back then they could literally fly over like a ship or like a boat, like a fishing boat, and be like, fuck them, you know, it's just a fisherman. I mean, nowadays, I mean, you can't even, like, those planes were like detected from space when they left the hangar. You know, like it's just a whole different ball game nowadays with that stuff.
And it's like that joke from Full Metal Jacket when the guy asks the gunner in the helicopter how he can shoot women and children, and he says, "Easy, you just don't lead them as much." It's like, yeah, you don't get away with that shit anymore.
Oh my god, that's hilarious, but not at the same time. That's so sad.
It's a dark joke, but I mean, like,
they just don't move as fast.
It's the same point that you like. That's the kind of shit people got away with in Vietnam. Not anymore.
Well, because, I mean, look what happens where, you know, something blows up in North Korea. I mean, how would we ever even know about that shit? It's like an entire city blows up from a train in the middle of North Korea. And they're like, we think something went pop in your country. And they're like, no, it didn't. We're like, that's interesting because there's an entire city worth of lights out. Like, we can't, you know, like, they're like, nothing happened. Don't worry about it. And it's like, we took pictures. They had before and afters where you could see this, like, vibrant city. And then afterwards, it's just like a Hiroshima went off. It was like, they're just like, nothing happened. The North Korea's fine. Leave it alone. Like, it's okay. Well, whatever.
Nothing to see here. Move along, folks. Yeah.
It's probably a weapon they were working on or something that went completely tits up while they were shipping it, and they didn't want to talk about it.
Nope. Nothing to see here. Just keep moving.
Just look at some photos of our model village. We're fine.
Yep. We're okay.
Yeah, we're doing good. Yeah, the model village. I love that in the movie. I can't believe the hubbub that movie created. That whole stink over that shit. Like, they literally, because let's face it, the North Koreans hacked, like, Sony is what happened. That is the crazy. You know what I'm talking about, right?
No, I don't think so.
When the movie The Interview came out, movie was supposed to go to theaters, and then I ended up watching it free on the internet with everybody else because Sony was hacked, and basically a bunch of movies were leaked, including parts of that movie to the internet and everything. And there was terroristic threats to theaters that played the movie, and it was all because North Korean leader Kim Jong-un wasn't happy about his portrayal in the movie. So he literally had, like, because North Korea, if they're good at one thing, it's fucking hacking. If you read about them, they have a special, like, if you're smart at all in that country, they will take you and they will be like, here, we have this really high tech lab that it's like the only part in the country where that was my mic clipping. Anyway, it's the only part of the country where they're like they're completely set up. Like, you go in there and it would be as high tech as any computer lab in America.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, if you live in a country where the internet is so locked down by the government, you kind of have to be good with computers to get around that.
Well, and they don't even have computers. All the computers are registered. It's that locked down. But, like, if you show promise at all, they will take you and they'll train you up to be, you know, like, one of their elite people that work in their cyber division and stuff. And that's how they steal money from companies. They steal technology. That's literally how their country operates, is cyber criminals.
All right, fair enough. Ilya Moon, you wanted to get in here, right?
Oops. Yeah, so there's a couple of comments I want to read. So Just Britt said, with a dick and a beaver in the stream, we're never getting anywhere.
That's true. I will try. Listen, I was about to turn something on so that I'm not as much of a burden. So then I'll be distracted between things. So go ahead. It's colorful. It's got sheep that jump across the screen. I get to count numbers. It's really fun.
Mr. Victory said radio waves range in length from very big, like the size of a tall building, to extremely small, like the size of an atom. Just some trivia. Thank you. Ugly German True said that Dead Kennedy Dead Kennedy in Space floats in a mixture of brain bleach and mouthwash.
That's true.
Interesting.
That's true.
And then Just Brit said, Tattie-Bogle, all she got from your rant was curse words. That's all she heard.
That's all I fucking say.
Excellent. Well, with that, should we maybe get back to some more stupid? See if we can get past, I don't know, 30 seconds into this thing?
I think so.
Four sheep. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
All right, here we go. Bring on the stupid.
The Nicobine targeting system proved there was no curvature. Exhibit 15, Loran C. Loran C was a naval positioning system used for decades, allegedly up to the 1990s. Essentially, it worked by 2 radio towers on the coast that would transmit radio waves across the ocean. The Loran system would use the difference in the timing of the radio signals to calculate the vessel's location. This system was highly accurate and is probably the same underlying application used today that is referred to as GPS.
Wrong.
If you're looking at the map.
Whoa.
I can debunk that in one sentence. Loran updates once an hour. GPS updates once a second.
There you go.
and nobody's used Loran since like 2003.
Well,
I mean, if you have an LG phone, if you have an LG smartphone, it runs so slow it updates probably every 10 seconds, but that's neither here nor there. I fucking want to throw this thing right out a window. Never again.
I have one right now too, and I could totally do without it.
I've owned Samsungs. I've had Samsung, HTC, and then this is the first time I've tried an LG. And I got the other one, the Vibe motor failed. I got them to replace the exact same phone. 1 year to the day, same time frame. Vibe motor failed. I'm like, you're done. And then the one started hardware failing, so I've actually had to revert back to the original one where the Vibe motor failed. And because this one's now, I've never had a phone be so shitty in my life.
Holy. Wow.
Yeah.
That's worse
Yeah,
than
like really.
That's worse than a 2015 MacBook Pro for failures.
What was funny? What was funny was I was talking to somebody recently, and they were like, "Who was it? My podcast partner." And he was like, "This fucking thing." He was like upset about a smart TV, and he was like, "I'm like, what brand is it?" He's like, "LG." I'm like, "Yeah, see, I have an LG TV, but it's not smart, and it's great. As soon as LG is involved with making anything intelligent, I think it sucks."
Oh, we have a comment that has to be addressed.
Well,
we have a comment that has to be addressed. Who would like to read that one out?
I'm skeptical as to this person's legitimacy.
Are you? Yeah. Let's read it out here. I'll take it.
Sure.
Feel Jesus in you, and personally, I'm not sure I'm going to roll that way.
I need an adult.
Radio waves. Sorry.
I said I need an adult.
Oh, radio waves can be
pays enough. I'll let
curved.
Jesus. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Radio waves can be curved. Hides the flat earth by giving illusion of land curvature. Oh my God.
So light can't curve, but the radio waves are now flexing. Oh my God.
Feel Jesus in you. Feel Jesus
was
in
amazing.
you. Just show me on the cross where he fucking touched you, mate.
If
Please.
Jesus pays me enough, I'll let him in me. I don't care. I told Vlad I don't have limits. That's not morally wrong. We're adults. We both consented.
Well, I think
wrong
he's
with that laser.
confusing an omnidirectional transmitting antenna versus a directional transmitting antenna. An omnidirectional antenna, yes, will transmit in all directions in basically a three-dimensional sphere. But they are still moving in straight lines.
Right. It's like
Ooh, that's
akin to dropping a stone in a pond versus a direction like a light shining from a laser.
Just FYI, I was skeptical about Feel Jesus in you. Flat Earth Jackal in the chat absolutely is for sure a flat earther. He's been around my channel a lot. How you doing, coward? How many times have I asked you for a debate or a discussion and you just walk away? You're a keyboard.
I want more fans. Come to my channel, Brainy Beaver. Check it out. Come leave comments. You guys are the best.
Hi, Jackass. I mean, Jackal.
They
Miss
are
you,
your
man. I haven't
best
seen you for a
fans.
while.
They're your best fans.
Beaver.
They'll come back every
Beaver,
video.
You're fucking shameless, buddy. I love it.
You listen. The best thing to do is pin one of their comments to the top and watch it just roll.
I know.
Yeah.
I always do that too.
And I'm not trying to say I'm trying to brainwash the audience, and I'm sorry, everybody. But you pin it, Vlad comment to the top, and then somebody will say something to Vlad, like I will even, and then he'll just argue with anybody. Like, it doesn't matter. You can go in there and go 1, he'll go fucking 2. It doesn't matter.
Well,
I have to
Ash
read the
Scott
comment.
says,
Yeah, Amy.
sorry. Yeah, just said Ash Scott says he won't because he's a sock account and people would recognize his voice. Interesting.
Could be.
I have to read this other comment. Oh gosh, I lost it. Where did it go? Gosh of Heckfire. There it is. Okay. Gosh of Heckfire said, did Tattie-Bogle just say, show me on the globe where the flat earth touched you?
Oh, fuck me. See, you're deaf and fucking stupid. That's a combination, by the way, son. Well fucking done. You dipshit motherfucker. Do you hear me now?
Oh, get him, Ted.
Do you hear me now?
Oh, get him.
Do you fucking
Load
hear
them
me
in a
now?
manure cannon and shoot them all over the fucking field.
Hell, yeah.
Well, I think that means it's video time.
Do it. Do it.
Map, you probably already see the problem. These stations, hundreds of miles apart, could be 1,000 miles away from the vessel, meaning these radio waves would have to have hopped a curvature up to 100 miles tall. The official explanation is that these radio waves traveling at the speed of light hug the surface of the Earth and wrap around the curvature, inexplicably jumping bulges of water and Earth dozens of miles tall. Does that sound believable to you? Wouldn't curvature hopping interfere with the location readings of the vessel? Like Marconi and Nicobine, Loran C is another proof of the flat Earth. One more point about Loran C. Look at this coverage map. Where is Loran missing? Remember that Loran was developed for the military. Did no one think it important to have location guidance for the navies in the southern hemisphere? The fact that Loran was missing in the south indicates that there was a problem with distances for southern vessels, which makes complete sense when viewed under a flat Earth map. The same applies for airplanes, which always lose their GPS signals in the oceans over the south, again evincing a flat Earth.
Okay, pause. That was some bullshit.
That was some word salad.
First of all, satellite phones don't lose their connection. Take a look at Inmarsat's coverage map. It's all over the ocean. It's the entire fucking ocean. You can get a satellite call from the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Not possible with Loran.
Or a
I've
cell
done it.
phone for that matter. So there goes
I've done
the
it.
GPS
My dad-
theory.
Sorry, Bull, go ahead.
I was gonna say, or a cell phone for that matter, because you can't use a cell phone, but the GPS in a cell phone will work in the middle of the ocean.
As long as you
the
download the
phone
map.
part won't.
Exactly. That's why Google started allowing offline maps. Like, if you know you're going to travel somewhere and you know you don't have service there, you can go ahead and like literally go into the map and you can actually select a square and you can make that square bigger or smaller. And the bigger it is, the more data it's going to download into your phone. But basically, you can download the map ahead of time for that area, save it to your phone, so that when you go there, you can just open your phone and still use the road map because you have GPS but no data, but you have the map already.
Yeah. I had that happen to me recently. Not that exact situation, but I was working out in an area where there was absolutely no cell phone coverage, none whatsoever. Like, not for several kilometers do you start to get a cell phone signal. Turn on GPS, it knows exactly where I am.
Yeah.
When you can use it as a compass too, because it knows exactly which way you're pointing. So even if you loaded up and you had no map at all, it was just a white screen on your map, it'd still point left to right, north, south, left. You'd still be able to tell which direction you were walking at least. So, but I mean, it's useless without a fucking actual map.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sean Carroll, I agree with you. Because Flat Earth Jackal is a keyboard warrior, nobody should pay attention to him. Amy, you wanted to get in here, right?
Yes, please. Okay, well, I've got an example too. Satellite radio in my car. Prime example, we drove up to the mountains a couple weeks ago when we went to Special Olympics. I had signal the whole entire way. even in the mountains and even at Sugarloaf, we had reception. Did I have cell phone reception? Not really good, but we had Sirius XM and we listened the entire way up, and that kept Matt very happy, thank goodness. But yes, we had it all the way up. No break in coverage whatsoever.
And just because you brought up the Special Olympics, I just want to point out, your son won a medal during that, did he not?
Yes, he did. Thank you. Yes, he won a gold medal in the 100-meter thing. The 100-meter cross country skiing. So I'm very proud of him. He just got right on there and just went. I was just so proud of him. Thank you.
That's awesome.
That's so awesome.
Thank you so much.
You wanted to make a comment here, right?
Yeah, this idiot seems to be confusing the difference between apples and oranges. He's comparing Loran C with GPS. GPS is satellite-based. Loran C was tower-based. And yeah, if you look at that coverage map of Loran C, it makes sense. Because guess what? They weren't building the towers in the middle of the ocean. They were building it on land masses. Off the coast of Alaska, on the coast of Alaska, the Aleutian Islands, Greenland, Iceland, California, so yeah, that's where the coverage is going to be. And international politics being what it is, it's entirely possible that things like Malaysia and the Philippines, whatever, didn't give us the rights to build our towers on their land masses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes perfect sense to me. The idea that that GPS is just like 2.0 version is ridiculous, because all of us have GPS devices at like a phone, and you can take your phone places where there's no cell signal whatsoever and the GPS works. Why is that?
And I know I wasn't going to address him, but Flat Earth Jackal, this is very simple. He said a little while ago, show me a real pic of the globe and I'll debate. And I said, set some parameters for what you will consider real. And he said, crayon munchers can't define real now. Here's the problem. You know it as much as I do. No matter what we show you, no matter what, you will say it's fake. If I show you one of the hundreds of real film images taken from Apollo, you will say it's fake. If I show you one of the Discover images, you will say it's fake. If I show you one of the Himawari images, you will say it's fake. Everything you will say is fake. So what's the point? What's the point in asking for a real photo because you don't think there is a real photo and you're not open-minded enough to consider that there might be one?
And there's not one shred of evidence ever brought to the table to show that these things are fake. It's just bullshit from armchair philosophers.
Absolutely. Yeah, especially... Sorry, I'm away from my mic. Especially the Apollo photos. Like, they're old, They're pre-digital computers. We did not have the technology to manipulate photos back then like we do today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hate to break it to everybody out there, but the Bionic Man, yeah, that was just a TV show. It wasn't like, a reflection of the technology we had back in the day. It just didn't work that way.
I mean, Christ's sakes, we didn't even have... Why do they think, like, in World War II... the V1, was it the Vengeance 1 rockets? I mean, for Christ's sakes, they were not guided missiles, everybody. There was no computer on board. That thing was like, it was a math equation. It was, velocity, fuel, trajectory, all that. It's like, it'll hit London. Will it hit the barracks? Listen, it'll hit London, was the answer they would get. And then later, when we actually had computers, it was like, it'll hit the third window from the left on the second floor. So it's just a difference. And they think that we had, they just think that we had technology. It was like, that's why, again, the Apollo thing. Well, we haven't gone back in 60 years. Dude, there were literally parts of that thing held together with string.
Yeah, and when they do this whole talk about the technology lost and stuff, it's not like we're going to go back and use shit from 1967 and just do that whole wing and a prayer. You'll probably make it. We're going to use modern technology, and as such, it has to be hardened for radiation and so on and so forth. And it's just a different can of worms. Holy shit!
If they want to go back in the original tin can, I will definitely vote that we should pay Good money.
Oh.
In fact, I bet we could raise the money to stuff one of those flat earthers in the original Apollo and send them up. But God bless you, because some of them almost barely didn't make it back.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was probably one of the most dangerous things you could have done. It was like strapping yourself to a bomb that didn't glow off properly.
If you were lucky.
And how many people,
you were lucky.
And how many people before them already died too on the pad and up in space, and like
Then
it was like, and even
Apollo
the best of
13,
times,
Apollo 13,
which was
a
already
disaster.
which was 2 missions after they'd already landed on the moon. It was a complete disaster. Those people were even lucky to come home.
Which was the one that was almost a disaster because lightning struck it? Was that 12?
Yeah.
I
mean, it's basically climbing into a soup can and then, riding a controlled explosion.
Yeah.
People
don't understand the true cowboy era of space travel we were in. Like, I've made this metaphor before. If you say you live on government assistance, right, and you've got a car, and you go on a vacation one day to the Grand Canyon, and you take some pictures and some videos, and you come back, and then years later, someone says, go back to the Grand Canyon because I don't believe you went there. Except it's 40 years later, you don't have the same level of government assistance, and your car broke down. Did you not go now?
Yeah, right.
And something that a lot of people didn't know, like you said, cowboy era. The other thing is the people that they were using were from the cowboy era of like flyboys and one of the. This is a little thing. Some of you might know this, some of you might not. I can't remember what was it, Apollo 10, which it would have been the one right before the moon landing, probably. So probably Apollo 10, where they did like a mock landing where they skinned the surface a bit,
about within
and then
2 kilometers or something.
Yeah, they got real low and then came back up and then reconnected and just did like a mock landing, less the landing and takeoff part. And I don't know the specifics of the mission, but what I did hear was that they purposely didn't give them enough fuel to actually land and come back home. Because they were worried if they gave them enough fuel to actually do it, that they would get down there and be like, fuck this, we're putting her down, because that's the kind of people they were. So they literally didn't give them enough fuel and told them, we didn't give you enough fuel. If you put it down on the moon, you will be left there because there's not going to be enough to come home.
Yep.
That's brilliant.
Those are the kind of dudes you needed to go and do that. Hey, do you want to sit on the end of a fucking
they were the only people
exploding candlestick and rocket off outside the fucking atmosphere? Yeah,
I only learned that a few weeks ago. That fact, I was like blown away. I was like, oh my god! So they didn't even trust them not to put it down on the surface. They were like, don't even give them the fuel. If you give them the fuel, the guy will fucking touch it down.
You got military test pilots. What the hell do you think they're going to do? Of course they would. If you gave them,
don't pull that roll.
Yes.
Next thing you know, the plane's doing loop-de-loops around the frickin'. Hey, you know it rolls real good.
Yeah.
Well,
Blue, that's what they were going to do. No doubt about it. Jesus Christ!
My uncle used to say, "You get a bunch of guys that were born to push the limit, and what do you think's going to happen?"
Of course.
They need that guy that stole the plane up in Seattle, though. That guy should have been in the test program. Man, he looped that fucking propeller plane like it was nothing. And even when he got it done, they were like, he's like, yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't think I was gonna come out of that. And even the people, you could hear it, they were like, fuck, we didn't either.
Well, you know something? He was right too in the end.
He put her. Anyways, we don't want to talk about that. But yeah, anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, let's turn over to Ilya for some comments here.
Yeah, she's been buzzed in for a little while. Sorry, Ilya.
Yeah, no worries. Quit asking me to sprinkle them titties. Said, used to play in a guitar metal band called the Godfucker, so technically Jesus felt me in him. Then Thor, Logic of God, said, has this fucking twat biscuit never heard of ground wave?
Nope. Obviously not.
And then No Name said NASA photon bending and Leviticus, 2 fake things. And I'm gonna end on this one. Thor said, Aimee Hogan, your Olympian, is a proper legend.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like that one.
Thank you. He is. He's awesome.
Before we go any further, there was a wee request in the chat there, which I'm just going to have to come back to, because some wee bastard was wanting me to say something here. Where the fuck was it? Yeah, bastard. Where has that gone? Oh, aye. Just for you, mate.
Good shout out from. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Just for you, mate. Shit fire. Fuck.
I think we got to be the only show that pauses for shit fire. Fuck. That was awesome.
Well, we should get going to another video, but I just want to, if I could, do you guys mind if I bring up something slightly off topic and just discuss that for a moment?
Sure.
Go for it.
Has anyone heard about the recent incident on Facebook involving a anti-vax mother and the group she was a part of?
No.
Well, we finally got some real world consequences. I don't remember all of the details, but her child, I think it was 4, got the flu, and this parent was going to this group and saying, "What do I do? What do I do?" And they were saying, "Don't take them to the doctor. Whatever you do, don't take them to the doctor. Don't let them get a shot." The child died.
Whoa! What the hell?
It's finally happening. We've finally got the real evidence that anti-vaxxers are going to kill children.
Yeah,
Wow.
one of the dumbass things they told that mother to do was put potato slices in his shoes.
Yeah.
What? For what? Is he not tall enough? Because all I can see is that's going to get you a little taller, maybe, but it's going to be a real uncomfortable way to walk around. What the hell?
So that happened with the meningitis kid here in Alberta a few years ago too, where they kept taking him to like holistic people and everything. Unless that's what you're talking about, but they kept taking him to. I didn't catch I was off the way AFK for a second there. That's why I didn't catch the story. But they kept taking him to holistics and all that stuff. And even the family, they had like a holistic family nurse who was like finally like looking at them and saying, "You need to take him to a doctor. Like he's extremely sick." And it was to the point, and they still were. They were literally, when he went into cardiac arrest, they were literally driving to find an echinacea press for him. So like they weren't taking him to the hospital. So next thing you know, the 911 call has, like the mother freaking out while she's driving to the hospital, and the father's in the back trying to do CPR to their little child, who is, let's face it, deathly sick. He's never, you're never going to CPR him out of being ill.
Yeah.
He had viral meningitis, and of course, all they had to do is take him to the doctors. They would have given him some medication, and he probably would have gotten better.
Yeah. Well, and in particular with this anti-vax case, I've been corrected in the chat. She did take the kid to the doctor. She got a prescription for Tamiflu, but didn't fill it.
Well,
so she was told how to save her child's life, and her little cult decided, like her cult belief overrode doctors, and that's why her child died.
Well, these people went to jail. I don't know about the ones you're talking about, but these ones went to jail. I'm talking about at least. So
yeah, the ones in Alberta got taken to task, man, properly. But this one here, getting the prescription and then not filling it, that's now willful ignorance. You're doing it on purpose. Wow, well, you suck.
Yeah, and I think it's because you don't get to claim ignorance once you've seen the doctor. Let's face it. And in their case, what it was that this holistic nurse that they would see had literally, like, the person that they trusted and was like saying, do this. When they brought him back and he was even sicker, she was like I think she checked his temperature and she's like, he needs to go to the hospital like right now. Like, and then she didn't listen. They didn't listen to that. They just kept looking for other sources. So they were like, "Hey, like they'd been given the information they needed, and they didn't listen or follow through." Or, of course, you'd have to look up the court case shit. I don't follow it. I just remember seeing it in the news.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a super chat in. I'm going to read here.
I think this is a good way to get off the anti-vax subject.
Yeah. This is Mr. Victory, $20. Thank you so much, Mr. Victory. Frack the fucking anti-vaxxers. Oh, he said fracking. Sorry. Frack the fracking anti-vaxxers. There we go. And he's right. Screw them all. Throw them in a jar
his innocent message. You took his innocent message and you just made it filthy.
I know.
Did you ever watch Battlestar? That was her way of saying fuck on TV.
No, I know. But he said the F-bomb after the fracking.
No, I know.
I'm saying you took his beautiful, beautiful, innocent message and you made it filthy on him.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's just fucking wrong, isn't it?
He needs to refund that $20 now. Sorry, guys.
I dickified it. What are you going to do?
Anyway.
So
no, I'm just kidding.
Now, does anybody? Oh, yes, I remember. The next video we have queued up, if I'm right, is of course Mud Flood.
Oh,
Woohoo.
Yes, mud flood. Mud flood, stupid.
no.
And I'm not talking about. I'm not.
No.
I'm not talking about the effect of a sad Mexican restaurant. No, no, no. We're talking about real mud flood. Oh, this should be rough.
Real mud flood. Did you hear what you just said?
Well, yeah, but you know what? See, I was trapped. I had no way to describe it, because to most people, mud flood means you're sick and you should stay home, right?
I mean, it could mean a lot of things. It depends on if you're very passionate and in the shower. Who knows?
Warning for everyone, this video is likely to contain a whole bunch of pictures of turn-of-the-century construction sites.
Yeah, exactly.
And expect random objects at the top of buildings to be free energy collectors, and ground floor windows exist, therefore mud flood.
I'm waiting for somebody to blame Noah. Not, just did it wrong this time. It's all muddy, Jesus, what are you doing?
You mean like National Oceanics or whatever? Noah? Just kidding, sorry.
Yeah, Bull, run it, man.
Shall we discover what the fuck the stupid is all about here?
Yes, let's do it, buddy.
Bull's just getting upset now.
Welcome, everybody, to Flat Earth Nation. It is a Flat Earth Nation. Don't let them tell you anything else. Just a straight-up mud flood. What's going on with the New York Stock Exchange and this plank road? Let's find out. Zoom in a little bit and see, are they building it on a... I understood that they use some wood, but they're just got, this is a, boy, they selling those passport photos, but yeah, that's wood on both sides. The sidewalks, there's a little bit of concrete here,
They call it the boardwalk,
but
man.
right up to
Holy
this,
fuck.
this building, this is not the New York Stock Exchange. This is the day of the crash, and what they say, they got little double curbs here.
Okay, pause.
Oh my God,
This is the
This is why I don't watch mud flooders, to be honest with you. I find them like it's kind of a lot of them just have like 3-hour videos where they talk about nothing.
It's too stupid to debunk.
I mean, for the love of God, why do you think it's called the boardwalk, buddy? Holy shit!
But they'll show things that you can look up. I mean, like I saw them like, look, they're exposing a buried portion of the building. I'm like, actually, they were removing a whole bunch of hill edge and they were reinforcing the bottom of the church. It's literally written in the town's history. Yeah, they show stupid things. It's hard to go through.
We should let it run a bit more because at this point
sorry.
it just looks like the set to a 1950s Superman movie.
Well, what's going on there? Are they all just standing around though?
It's
the past is fascinating, anyways.
It's the day the stock exchange crashed.
Yeah,
and the people that pulled in there are just pissed. They're like, "Fuck! I knew I should have parked a street away."
Shall we go on then?
Well,
yeah, I'm staying the hell out. I talk too much, so
let's kick it, Bull. Let's see where this moron's gonna take us next.
The stock exchange. You can see the road is all wood. And this is the height. It looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps to get up. And they walk almost head height to the window here. Shoulder height, going down a little bit, but still wood. Still wood. This, I think, has something to do with the subway elevated train that's underneath the wood. But let's just look at a couple more and see if I'm seeing things. It would have been nice with such a high pixel picture that I could read that.
shame they didn't have high def cameras. 100.
Yeah, I was just about to say it's a shame they didn't have to. Oh my god.
I'm telling you, this not an expert on New York City, that's for sure, but it still looks like there's 5 steps there, but something looks different. This is just we'll look at a few pictures and let you make up your mind on what's going on here. I just think it's something suspicious. This is the inside. You can see they have super high, just back at, this is 1930.
I think we got to pause this here.
He's like, I can't put my finger on it, but something about this looks a little different.
Did he really just say? Did he really just go? Here's a photo of the New York Stock Exchange. Why is this painting different?
One of these things is not like the other. One of these things is just not the same.
It looked like a drawing for a postage stamp, man. That was just ridiculous.
See this feel Jesus and you arguing with people in the chat is fucking hilarious. God reveals to us all that the earth is flat.
For fuck's sake. Watercolor, photograph, same thing.
I want to feel Jesus in my channel.
Yeah. They couldn't even spell ignorant. They spelled it like a hillbilly. Ignorance.
You know what I learned recently that I need like one of those spell checker things. I mean, I just type so it's not that I can't spell things, it's I don't care enough. And then I type so fast, I leave them behind. So, yeah.
Happens to me a lot.
I mean, I won't lie, I'm not the best at spelling. So, I mean, and truth be told, I really think it's low-hanging fruit when people are like, don't you mean there, THIER? It's like, oh, here, tell you what, I've got a nut here you can suck on. That's how much I care about that.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you knew exactly what I was saying. So what? I missed a letter here or whatever.
Yeah. Go back to your Duplo box.
Yeah, no, exactly. I build a house.
So
anyway,
what does him wondering about this drawing not looking like a photo have to do with the mud flood though? Like, does this guy maybe not know how to title his own videos?
And what does this like super overexposed, tiny pixelated photo have to do with any of it?
It's a shame he can't read it.
I'm scared to. I'm scared to see, but I'm hoping.
Sorry,
I'm hoping for clarity. Maybe we should push on.
Well, before we do, Logical wanted to add something really quickly here.
Yeah, most of these mud flooders talk about how this worldwide catastrophe of a 6 to 8 foot mudslide reset society and hid history. I'm wondering how. You know, let's just imagine for a moment that the entire world was covered in 8 feet of mud, 10 feet of mud. Unless it killed off all of the, people from the ages of 8 and up, I'm not sure how anybody could actually rewrite history enough to get rid of what came before and hide it from you. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. My grandparents were alive at the time this picture of the boardwalk in New York City was taken, for Christ's sake. I think they would have told me something about a mud flood in New York City, or anywhere else.
Where did the mud come from?
Well, you mix water with dirt and you get the right consistency.
I was just about to say something similar.
But I've seen mud floods in local areas.
If you eat a lot of bread, you'll get a mud flood.
It doesn't reset that local area's history. They just dig out, rebuild their fucking houses, and you're all good, right?
Yeah. It's not, it doesn't have to be biblical because there was a mudslide, but show me how to make enough mud to cover the whole earth in 6 feet. Just show me. I mean, please explain.
Sure.
No, didn't think so.
Well, you see, it's so heavy. It's just like.
If there was such a thing as a mud flood, then how the fuck do you explain all these fucking castles in my country, then? Because come on to Christ, man. It's just, they're still fucking there. They've not
I
been
mean, Tatty,
talking,
didn't you
right?
know all castles are built at the tops of hills? And then that they're just because that's where you build them, right? So then when the mud flood was over, it just left the castle sitting right there on the plain.
Ah, right.
See? You got to think about it.
There you go.
I gotta
these things.
I gotta read a comment
Details.
that before it goes away. Where did the mud go? Asked Brown 1. Where did it go? Like, never mind how it was created.
It's still there. It's still there. It's just that's where the castles are sitting on the plains. Those were at the tops of mountains.
Look, I got three
with-
simple questions here. Where did it come from? Where did it go? And where did it come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
Cotton Eye Joe, I knew where you were going with that as you started saying it. I fucking knew it.
Too funny.
Logic of the gods had to the mud flood was the result of God's first encounter with a lamb vindaloo and 6 pints of imperial stout ale.
Yeah.
Speaking of comments, Mr. Victory said, to the Shills, my grandfather came over from Norway in the 1930s and not one time told any stories of a mud flood.
I mean, since we're talking mud floods, I'll tell you the only mud flood I've ever seen. It was when I was working with a plumbing and heating company, and the Mark's Work warehouse had they'd been flushing the toilet, and I guess it had frozen at the pipe in the sewer, and I guess the big opening out at the street side because it'd been so cold, and so the whole time they were flushing, I guess it would flush enough that they didn't know there was a problem because it would fill up the pipe, and I guess there was a long drop on the main first part of the pipe down to the sewer because it was deep, but. So it would just fill up, but then of course the water would eventually kind of seep out, and then the solids wouldn't though. So over time, this 200 feet of pipe out to the street, we're talking a 4-inch wide pipe. It just literally packed until it was like a cylinder all the way back to the building. And when we finally, because they called because it wouldn't work anymore. And when we finally, I was out there on the street with a long piece of copper pipe, pushing it down and hitting this piece of iced up turd nugget at the end of the pipe until it finally, and all they were doing inside is flushing the toilet and generating pressure by continuously flushing the toilet. And finally it's I remember when that baby peeled out and then 200 feet of actual slug poured into the, I'm on top. I was like, well, that's good job. Well done. I just close up the sewer and walk away. So and that's a mud flood, boy.
Shit just comes rushing out of the pipe.
Oh, dude, it was a 200-foot snake, a 4-foot wide, 200-foot snake just came pouring into that because it was like a sewer opening that poured into another sewer kind of thing.
Was it outside of Taco Bell?
So there you go. It was honestly, it was 3 months of them flushing the toilet at work, probably in that pipe.
Oh,
wow.
Okay.
Sort of like what happened in Lewiston too.
Yeah, let's get back to a non-shit mud flood then.
I mean, you guys kept saying mud flood. If you keep bringing a topic up, I got a story somewhere.
It's not a mud flood. It's not a mud flood. Come on now. Let's call it by its proper title. It's a dirty shit fire. Fuck.
I mean, how could there be the true story of a real mud flood with all the cities that we've built, with all the underground foundations and train tunnels and blah, blah, blah? How could nobody come across this missing history of humanity yet? Fuck, I mean, the cities have been in the same places for a long time. We know this, right? You're just morons.
Well, man,
the only thing is
reptiles are keeping the truth from you.
I mean, the only thing is when you think about North America, it's probably not 200 years old. So, I mean, that's the only thing.
No, but, yeah. I mean, you show me a picture of, Venice and then say that, just right under there is this hidden mud. No. It's just not.
Well, how about London, Rome, and Paris? I mean, the catacombs, they're not filled with mud,
Yeah. Well, but those catacombs were actually nice, quaint houses until... I mean, those were nice surface level quaint houses. You don't know. They had ocean view, goddammit.
They had a view.
Funny.
Well,
what do you guys think?
To add something here, right?
Oh, sorry, guys.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if the mud flood happened and reset society's history, how would they know about it? And who caused the mud flood? Was it God? Did he fuck up the first time with Noah's flood and decided, oh, let's go for something else? Let's we gotta finish this job. Let's try mud this time because water wasn't fucking getting it. Are they saying that God's incompetent if they believe in God? You know, did the fucking reptilians cause it? To what purpose? Population control? I don't know. There was 3 billion people in on the world at that time, and now there's 7 billion. Well, they're fucking incompetent because they didn't get the population control right.
Yeah, they're not doing a very good job.
I don't know.
All those chemtrails are doing a shit job.
I can let you guys in on a secret here. I can let you in on a secret. Do you know why Australia was spared the mud flood? Flat Earth Aussie Jesus himself lifted Australia up and protected the entire continent during the mud flood. So everybody should say thank you to Flat Earth Aussie Jesus.
I mean, the entire continent of Australia, I don't mean the people, I mean the continent itself, like the landmass is racist, the way it broke away from the other part of the world. I'm joking. It's a joke. I don't know if anybody got that. I'm not saying the people. I'm saying the landmass.
Fast enough. Yeah.
It's the fucking landmass. It's a joke. Have you guys seen the joke where Africa breaks away and he's like, I'm coming back. Don't worry, I'm coming back. Because when South America breaks away from Africa. All right, the joke apparently went over. I see people laughing in the thing. I hope they're laughing at that. I think it went over a few hits. I had to really reiterate. I heard the silence. I'm like, all right, I'm the racist now. Here we go.
Oh no. Okay, yeah. Now, okay, we need video then for sure. Save us. We don't want to get to that.
Roll 'em.
Not really going to get much bigger or much more detail, but look, the wood floors, same thing that they had outside.
Is he talking about wood flood? Man, this guy's got wood.
This says the New York Stock Exchange.
What in the hell do the wood floors have to do with it?
I don't know.
So
Is he trying to say that wood was just
here it is. It
to hide the flood?
doesn't look like a wood street.
Well, we do keep talking over him.
That's true.
This would have been
We're at half
1 year later.
The audience can only hear us half volume.
I honestly couldn't tell you right now. But that doesn't look like the same type of street at all.
No shit. Wait. You mean construction is a thing?
Here's another one of the historical. They're gathering outside the day of the crash. I can't tell if it's wood or not.
Probably is, because that's what the first photo was of.
They just don't do well with these.
You can see the wood right there behind. There's the gap behind. You see the two cars? There's the one car in the center, and then the other car that's farther forward.
Yeah.
And you can see a little gap behind the woman with the dark. You can see the slats. You can see the lines from the wood.
Yeah, and I don't know what his obsession is with the wood floors. Maybe he's at that time of life where, the wood's becoming a little increasingly less common, and he's concerned about his health and well-being, and so he fixates on wood anywhere he can. I don't fucking know. See a urologist is all I can say.
Maybe his wood's a little rotten and limp. Well, maybe his piece of wood's a little rotten and limp these days, so he just loves to see a good, firm piece of wood. I don't know what this guy's going on about, man.
The thing is the wooden road. Wouldn't that become pretty slippery after for a while when it rained? That'd be hell, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be.
I mean, once you get an old deck, you can like skate across those in your bare feet when it gets biological.
Yeah.
I would be interested to know if his wood is under construction, because that's a thing too.
Okay.
Has anybody noticed that as of yet he has not once yet mentioned mud?
No, he hasn't said shit. I'm so
he
confused.
Said the word mud flood, but that's it. But before I'm gonna go to Aimee for some audience stuff here, or just our comments. I'm not sure. But before I do, feel Jesus in you. It's called a dollar store. Go there, buy a microphone or a headset. Both can be found at dollar stores. And then come on my channel whenever the fuck you want. This isn't hard to figure out. The fact that you're scrolling around so much just tells me that you're a little pussy. Aimee, please
Then
go
people
ahead.
join with just their phones too. It's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is easy. You're right. We just had a super chat from John Rapp for Australian $2. He says, I laughed, especially because the world fell away from us.
I think he's talking about Australia.
Thank you so much, John Rapp. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one, John. Right on.
Quit sprinkling them titties. It said that they saw the drivers up in Asia and they dropped out. Said nope, I'm out.
Oh,
we
man.
love all people. Remember.
Yes. Well, should we let this guy play a bit more and see if he mentions mud or a flood or something besides wood?
Got to be something about mud in here.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm going to start singing the Monty Python Lumberjack song because I just don't understand. That's all I'm hearing is wood.
He might have been sick when he did this stream, and maybe it was just insight.
Maybe he knew Beaver was going to be here tonight. I don't know.
He's just throwing us a curveball. He calls it mud flood, and then he goes on about wood.
Maybe that's the
Flat
point.
Earth, or no, Feel Jesus in You says, Dead Kennedy in Space. I will do it. I will get the message out there. I shall be in touch soon.
I look forward to it.
Ooh, the gauntlet has been dropped.
For some reason, I'm not sure why, I am not the least bit intimidated.
Yeah, no shit.
Nor should you be.
Doesn't he know who you used to be when you still had a body?
Yeah, no doubt. Buddy, you know you're talking to Brooke Shields, right? Oh, no, sorry. I wasn't supposed to let that one out, was I? Shit. No, it's not. This is Stephen Hawking 2.0. That's it. There we go.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to make a joke, but it's tasteless. No, go ahead.
Let's get back onto the Woody Woodpecker here and his merry band of. I don't know. I got nothing. What the hell is he talking about? Fuck.
Wood.
Wood.
These pictures, there's always people looking at the camera that kind of seem like they know, oh, they're going to take a picture.
Because it took forever to take a picture.
This is what it looks like today. This looks like wood. It does.
Is
that when they were
You can't get the wood.
jacking up the city like they did Chicago and everything else? This one looks more like the original one.
Who does that? Iron Man?
Somebody talking to a cop turning somebody in.
You have got to be shit.
So this was the New York in the between the wars.
This guy's got to be related to
Nice,
Abraham.
huh?
What's going on here?
Just everybody acts like, yeah, we like wood streets.
Well, it's better than walking around ankle deep in fucking wet mud.
We're not trying to hide anything.
Of course.
And your point is, caller.
So I don't know what that was, a movie theater or something.
I'll pause him again.
Pause. Not a good sign. Not a good sign if you're trying to describe what's going on and then you have to say, I don't know what that is. Sorry, Logical. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just, he's talking about jacking up an entire city. I mean, seriously, if they could do that, why is Vienna still sinking? Wouldn't they have rescued it from, I mean, seriously, get a fucking life, get laid, something, there's better things to do with your fucking time than pull shit out of your ass and sniff your fingers.
Yeah. I mean, if you could just jack up the whole city, they would have done that to Manhattan to get it out of the way of the Chitauri. Oh, no, wait a minute. Wrong fantasy. But you get what I mean, right? It's all bullshit anyway.
You know, someone, because I mean, he made that point about like it seems like everyone knows there's about to be a picture taken, and someone in the chat, I don't know how to pronounce this name, Osvaldo Greco, I think.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
pointed out that yes, because photography was a novelty in those days, and that's a good point as well. These days, no one's going to bat an eye because everyone has a camera in their pocket. But back in those days, cameras were huge, took a little bit of time to set up, and not many people had them. So you see someone setting one up, you're going to turn your head.
Yeah. You know, and who's to say that the people with the camera didn't go, hey, just before they took the photo to make sure they got some faces? I mean, you just don't know, you know.
And big shout out to Ugly German Truce. He always keeps me on the straight and level, whether I'm sober or schnockered. I meant Venice, not Vienna, but, you know, like my little brother Shaggy, you know, I know what I fucking mean. God damn it, my beer bottle's talking for me again. Thanks, Ugly. I appreciate it, man.
Stay ugly, brother. So,
ugly.
I'm scared to say let's play some more, because at this point, what is he going to start doing? Commenting on the rooftops of the cars and how they look like alien landing pads, and somehow that equals mud flood? Like, what's going to be next?
And I'm just getting bored because it's taking him forever to say anything, and he's so quiet. He spends most of his time just mousing over things, and it's like I don't know what you want from me. You have to actually make the content. I'm not going to do most of the work for you.
Right. You know, you know what? I totally forgot, but we should have fired up test run number 2 of Gong Show debunking, because this would be done. Why don't we just go to the 3rd video and screw this guy?
Yeah.
Well, should we put it to at least put it to a panel vote?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Can I actually just jump in? Because I just had something to say too.
Oh, yeah.
Peter G had an interesting point on all this too. He said the wood is a temporary street surface when they built the subway with the cut and cover method. The BMT Nassau Street line was built below the street at the time of the crash, and that's why a temporary wood road would be, you know, feasible at that time, you know, because they were working on the subway. Neither did I, but so thank you, Peter G, for that. Thank you.
That's why they put those.
That was a good one.
That's why in today's day and age they put metal down when they dig up the middle of the street to get at the water main, so that your car doesn't fall into that big ass hole they made and didn't fill in.
No doubt. TC Lucas in the chat says basement window equals mud flood. Oh, if George Carlin was still alive.
Yeah. If we're going to take votes on this, I say we move on. For fuck's sake, we got Blue Marble Science on the panel here. We need something we can really sink our teeth into, like a thick Tyrannosaurus steak. You know, this stupid shit where he can't fucking say anything is just ridiculous. He reminds me of that guy, you know, that scene in Men in Black. I'll just give her a minute until she gets the wrong impression.
Well, why don't we give this video the big shildo right in the poop chute and move on then?
Absolutely.
Fuck it, get it out of here.
Will do. Let me switch it up to the next one, and we will move on. That's not a problem.
All right.
You're leaning back again there, Bull.
Sorry, I really need to stand. Really do.
Funny.
We'll get that on the list for him. What is video number 3? Or do we have any kind of like what can we be told about it before it plays?
Tatty might know.
This is the colon one, isn't it?
Yes, video number 3 was a lovely suggestion from our regular rectal feature, Mr. Colon. And we do love it for it. And this one has been dropped straight from the colon, straight to yourselves, featuring a certain gentleman who was recently on Fight the Flat-Earth's channel in I hasten to call it a debate, because can any of these fuckwits actually spell debate? Never mind do it.
No,
in my opinion, no actual debate has ever been held on the subject of flat Earth.
That's right.
Hell no.
Not even close. Not even close. I've seen arguments and I've seen conversations, but never once what would actually be classified as a debate in any academic environment. Not even close.
This video is titled "Your Thoughts, Your Own." As
Yep.
cryptic
Okay,
as
then.
that, and as
It's-
bullshit as it's going to be. Bring it
It's
on, man.
cryptic as fuck.
All right. All right, let's do it.
Truth doesn't matter. What matters is the image.
This fucking.
I haven't even
Oh,
seen
that's
her.
fucking one again.
I can barely hear that video.
Oh.
That's because there's no sound.
Physicists are enemies of the electrical science.
Yeah.
Physicists want to control everything.
Yeah.
They want their theories to rule the universe. It's a religion, is what
Yeah.
it is. It's destructive religion.
Just bizarre to have a
Yeah, rather
sentence
than
in the middle
it's
of it.
faith-based rather than fact.
But it's all based on gobbledygook.
Yeah.
You know, the more theories you throw on this whole quantum thing is like insanity.
Pause.
Yeah, pause.
First off, it looks like this guy's being interviewed in a minimum security incarcerational institution. So I'm not sure. You know, he looks like he's in a country club jail. But second, I don't think they know how to use that shotgun mic on top of that camera because it sounds horrific. And gobbledygook, good start, pal. Well done. I can't wait for what's coming next.
And also, I don't think they know how to use cameras because why is there a camera filming him being filmed?
I was wondering that too. I forgot that point.
Yeah. And I want to actually ask Blue, what's your take on the idea that science is faith-based and it's all gobbledygook?
That about sums it up.
Beautiful.
I have no idea what the hell that guy just said.
Well, I'm pretty sure what he said was, "I don't understand, therefore fake."
Yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me, waitress. Blue would like Thousand Island on his word salad, please. Thank you.
Yeah, it's that's quite confusing. It really is. And that guy's supposed to be what? An electrical engineer? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what I
with
thought
an
I heard.
IQ of 165, you know.
believe
We're
that
not
for a second.
trying to convince me of something when you have to actually post somebody's IQ. Besides, the IQ doesn't really mean very much except that you can pass a fucking test.
No,
That's
IQ is a
basically-
measure used by those without it to show that they're intelligent.
Yeah, that's
Well,
Come on,
and
guys.
it's your
His IQ was a
ability.
typo.
It's
They
actually your
forgot to put the
ability.
decimal after the one.
See, what they're testing with IQ is actually just your ability to be intelligent, essentially, almost. But like, you have to use it properly afterwards.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's more like
exactly.
an
You still have-
acuity type thing.
That's why somebody like Mensa Girl, if she did pass it, of course we don't really know if she did, but if she did pass it, then that's why that's why people like her would pass it, because she can think logically and analytically. It's just she's thinking upside down logically and analytically. Like it's weird.
And I just Googled it really quickly. People with 165 IQ, they are 1 in 136,074. I don't believe him.
Yeah,
Nor do I.
and having the information and being able to use it are two totally different things.
Yeah.
Besides, you can actually get good at taking IQ tests. Exactly like the person said, it just means you're good at taking a test. I mean, it's something you can. Taking tests is its own art form. Some people are better than others.
And let's bear in mind that there was a point in time when IQ tests were flawed in really disturbing ways. Like back in there was a period in time where they were written specifically so that black people couldn't pass them.
Yeah.
It was insane the way we've manipulated IQ tests.
Are you saying that things are affected by our history? Jesus, that's crazy.
Well, like I saw one once. I saw a question once that from an IQ test that was designed for Native Americans to fail, and the question was, "What's wrong with this picture?" And it was a picture of a man with a bow, or no, a man with a gun, aiming at two Native Americans who were coming at him with bows, I think. And the correct answer was that he was aiming at the one who was further away from him instead of the one that's closer. That's what's wrong with that picture. Yeah.
I mean, no, but yeah. I'm laughing only because of the ridiculousness of how horrible that is.
Yeah.
It's like this is what we're going to base how qualified this person is. The incredibly.
My answer, I believe the proper answer would have been like, let's take it back to the beginning and find out how this all started.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not too much of a surprise, though. I mean, you don't have to go back too far in our history to find a point where war was unspeakable compared to even the unspeakableness of war now, because it was way more personal in nature. Like, you conquer a town, you destroy it, right? I mean, we're horrible when it comes down to it.
You put their heads on spikes in some cases. It was terrifying.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Thor said it quite well. Religion tells you what to think. Science teaches you how to think.
Oh, good shout, Thor. Good shout. I like that very much. Well said.
Very well said.
Yeah.
Aimee, you wanted to get in here, right?
Yes, please. I got a couple good comments here. Trippin' Fool says, to me, it's religious fundamentalists trying to say science is the work of the devil while they're trying to drag us back to the dark ages, kicking and screaming. Joseph Grant said, I joined Mensa in the 80s and they were a bunch of egotistical idiots. Quit asking me to sprinkle them titties says it's like a phone battery. The capacity may be 100%, but if you only use your phone with 2%, you're going to have a bad time.
And if you pizza when you should have French fried, you'll have a bad time too.
Exactly.
That's a joke.
That's true.
And Aniceto Maldonado said, someone with an IQ of 62 said IQ tests don't prove you're dumb.
Well, everybody knows IQ is IQ, intelligence is intelligence, and, learned educational and experience approach to the world is that unto itself too. So, all good, right?
When you're talking about first, IQ simply means ignorance quotient.
That's pretty good. Just Britt says, screw IQ, I got street smarts.
Exactly. And that's a form of street smarts that a lot of people that don't have it could really use.
Oh yeah, there's a degree of truth to that. Like my dad has a 10th grade education. He dropped out in 10th grade and joined the army. And there are things that he can do with ease that I will never know how to do. I'm just no good at. That guy could build a freaking house, and I can barely nail two pieces of wood together.
But that's because they help their friends and people build houses.
Yeah.
Like my dad dug their well with his dad by shovel.
Right.
Damn.
And those days are gone now, unless you're Mennonite style.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Now the drilling man shows up and drills the well.
Yeah. Exactly. So, what is a mass? Said it looks like it's going to really get good because what he thinks is comical is going to be, well, true.
Well, let's see what he's got to say.
Yeah, let's do it.
Just these weird periods of silence. Freemasonry.
Oh, the video is just silent at this point.
The video is just silent.
Yeah.
I mean, I've ran with nutcases on the street that's more sensible than these quantum people come up with,
Pause. So the founding of Newtonian physics and the founding of NASA are separated by what, 200-300 years?
Oh, about 300 years, yeah.
About 300.
Like, give or take the lifespan of a squirrel. I mean,
how do you even link those two? I'm sorry, Newton had nothing to do with NASA.
Well, figuring, coming up with calculus for us did help, but he still had nothing directly to do with it.
Sure, yeah. He laid the foundation for work that could be done in NASA, but like to draw a direct link is just incredibly stupid.
But you know what? The one thing that really bothers me the most is constant accusations of NASA wanting to take over the world and the Illuminati want to take over the world. Well, guess what? The Germans tried it once. Look what happened to them.
It didn't go well. You know what's a really good point also is if NASA is supposed to be taking over the world, why is their budget continuously diminishing? Like, because the government is always responsible for this. Why are they completely screwing the people who are supposed to be taking over the world?
Yeah, but if you look at how much of a percentage of NASA's budget is consumed by buying apples, therefore Newton.
Well, think of it this way.
Yeah, but
If
all their
NASA's
apples have tiny
budget-
little bites out of them. They're getting shipped.
Yeah, they run Intel processors now. If NASA's trying to control the world, they're going to need a little bit larger percentage of the fucking United States budget each year to accomplish this task. I mean, come on, really? Fuck.
Yeah.
0.49%, people. Foreign aid gets more than them, and they still don't get a whole percent.
Yeah. I mean, if foreign aid gets more than NASA, but all the countries together still can't eliminate poverty in the world, what the hell is NASA gonna do? Morons.
I did the math on it once. You go over their budget. Literally half of their budget is just paying the bills and keeping the lights on.
I wouldn't doubt it.
But they have to pay. What? Wait. They have to pay for electricity?
And employees and
building, shocking
property tax.
Yeah, the engine from that
Roof
crash
jobs.
in 47, it ran out of power, so they have to actually pay bills now. Sucks.
Yeah,
overhead's a thing. Oh my god.
Yeah, and God forbid that a PhD level rocket scientist makes enough money to afford a $200,000 house. I mean, the fucking horror.
Yeah. God forbid he try to live the American dream of living in a normal house.
Yeah, because
by the way, the average.
rocket
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, all rocket scientists should, live in squalor just to make sure they're only doing it for the benefit of others. I mean, who wants a good meal and a nice hot shower, right? Fuck that.
Yeah,
These people are clearly just they're clearly just a bunch of shills for wanting more for their families, just like everybody else.
And that same person in the chat there, that Oswald Greco, they just pointed out, as far as I know, NASA didn't launch Sputnik 1 and 2. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about all the pioneering steps that Russia made in exploring space that has nothing to do with NASA. And if you're going to say they're all linked, then now you have to prove that the Cold War is fake.
Yeah.
Well, and at this point, this is the thing. Like I've talked about this so many times. I mean, okay, so now that Russia is on the verge of making no money off of space, but they're already at the point where they're not really making a lot of money off space because they don't do a lot of the satellite launches anymore because SpaceX and stuff. Then really, what's in it for them? Why lie? So now America has to be paying off Russia to keep lying for them. Like it's just ridiculous. How many people are in this?
Yeah, it's one of those things that makes you realize how vast the conspiracy has to be, and that's why it doesn't work, because a conspiracy isn't supposed to be the 99% controlling the 1%. It's supposed to be the other way around.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't make any sense.
Not to mention, if the U.S. government was going to take over the world, they'd have to fight off every other government on the planet before they could do it.
Well, but they don't believe that that's what it is. They believe what it is that they're all working together. It's a one-world government.
There's one group underneath it all that pulls the strings for the individual government, so they act accordingly. What a joke!
Isn't there a name for that kind of condition? Logical, unbelievable paranoia.
There's actually many descriptions that I could use, but yeah, paranoia is definitely a huge part of that. But yeah, maybe that's why NASA invented global warming, so that the reptilians wouldn't freeze to death in the upcoming ice age, and so that they could actually take over the world and use us as their food source. I mean, they hidden in plain sight, man, right in fucking Rod Serling's The Twilight Zone. How to cook, how to serve man. It was a fucking cookbook.
Yeah, that was awesome. If they are here and they are preparing to, chow down and have some supper and whatnot, I mean, if I was them, what would I do? I'd start watching flat earth videos, because then you can find all the people that are useless, not needed, and, serve them up. I don't think we have a problem here, people, even if it happens. They have enough food and they won't need us.
Yeah, absolutely. Aimee, you wanted to get in here, right?
Yes, please, I did. I have some good comments from the chat. Justinian says, numerology coming up next. Elmo. Jess Britt says, nutcases. You mean you aren't one of them? Mr. Victory says, this is Nathan Thompson 15 years from now.
Well, am I coming in loud, by the way?
Oh, yeah, you're good.
Yeah, you're still
well, no,
good.
just because I thought, gosh, I'm Heckfire saying I just walked from the office to the kitchen to make a drink. The only verse I heard was Brainy Beaver. I don't think I was even talking there. I did for a second.
Yeah,
I think you were out for a minute then, yeah.
Roger Rabbit has a good question. His question is, if NASA is trying to hide God, why does he let them? And then Ash Scott said, if people refuse to pay tax, NASA can't take over or pay the military to force people to. And if they could, wouldn't the military just think, if we're doing this anyway, we might as well take over?
Yeah, exactly. They're the ones with the guns.
Yeah, that's my point
Dick
too.
Dawson, you might
Right?
you might want to check who you tagged in the Discord there.
I just saw that. I was trying to tag you, damn it. And, it's the whole thing with the names. We have to fix that. Oh, man, that fucked me right up. But I was looking at the running time.
3
and
days from now.
Yeah.
Are we wrapping up? What's going on?
Well, I was looking at the time and I was wondering if we shouldn't get thinking about it soon, because we're starting to run a little longer than we normally do. Not too bad or anything, but
That's cool.
Yeah, I think we probably should get to wrap here, right? Unless, sorry, I just cut someone off.
No, I was just gonna say that maybe play another minute of this guy just to see if he ever says anything.
Sure.
Good
Let's
idea,
have it
Blue.
then. The vote's in.
I got no problems with that. We can go.
Excellent. There is that feeling that he might come to something.
Pythagoras and Plato, they get silenced, and how they did this was, of course, Rome shut down the Neoplatonic schools in the 6th century. Justin the Emperor, the criminal, did this so that the Aristotelian buffoonery can overtake the world, and the world has gone after Aristotle and his moronic, materialistic teachings like Darwin and Newton and Einstein, and all these will go down in history once they're revealed as buffoons. They've played the part of buffoon perfectly well. They are.
That's enough. That was a really bad suggestion on my part. I'm so sorry.
He did do a beautiful thing there for a second while complaining about materialism. Just look at his background. How much of that stuff in that image do you need, sir? Do you need a tie-dye shirt? Do you need some Buddhist paintings behind you?
It makes him woke, god damn it.
I can tell you what he needs, but it might get the stream in trouble, so I'll just keep it to myself.
It's okay. You can say lobotomy. It's
yeah. I was thinking more Egyptian style. Nice big hook right up the schnoz. Give me that fucking gray matter. But then the person on the other side with the hook would be like, "Wait a minute, it's already fucking empty. Who did this?"
It's like playing a prank on an Egyptian mortician or something.
Oh,
yeah. Wait a minute. This cranial cavity's empty. What the hell? I will say about this guy, though, I don't know if he's acting or not, but the hand motions and the way he moves his head and stuff, excellent impression of a chimpanzee. I'm really impressed with this guy. He's doing great.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he's doing a very good job mimicking humans. Aimee, you wanted to get in here, right?
Yes, please, because I have a couple chats. Thank you so much, everybody. Godless Scummer gave us £2. He said, "Hail Sagan." And then we have a second one, yes, from John Rapp for Australian $2. He said, "Please continue. We're good out here."
only
And
too
the-
happy then, I do think, right, guys?
Absolutely.
Sorry, Amy, keep going.
Oh, that's okay. It's just set Mr. Victory to ask for a big no before we go.
Oh,
I don't-
well, I think we better get the cows in now just to make sure, don't you think, guys? Because when it comes to, these guys, Newton and Einstein being buffoons, all I got to say is
Absolute trouble.
I feel like I need to say no, ma'am. Just for
There
the
you
Southern.
go.
And as much as I hate
I
to
like
sound
it.
like I'm diagnosing anybody long distance, between what he was saying, his affect and his body behavioral patterns, I wouldn't be shocked to find out that he may have been sometime in the past diagnosed with something akin or like schizotypal personality disorder. And maybe he's off his meds. I don't know. I'm only guessing, but that wouldn't shock me a bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked either. I bet he gets shocked. It's Thursday afternoons for his treatment, but I wouldn't be shocked. Not a
Oh
chance.
man, Thor, Logic of the Gods just dropped a bomb in the chat. The dude in the video did 6 months in prison for owing 132,000 AU. I don't know what that is for
Australian
unpaid.
dollars.
Oh, Australian dollars for unpaid road tolls and speeding tickets.
Wow.
Let me guess. Let me guess.
Yeah.
He was traveling, not driving.
Speeding tickets. God damn.
Oh, for sure.
You need to read Black.
So maybe he is being interviewed in a. Yeah, maybe he is being interviewed in a mediums or a light security facility here, because that's what it looks like. Maybe he really is.
Shit,
You know?
you gotta get stopped like every 100 feet to get $132,000 with those speeding tickets.
Well, I guess if every time you're stopped, you argue with the officer for 2 hours about Black's Law Dictionary and then refuse to get out of the car when they tell you to and just cause a whole bunch of shit. I don't know. Maybe you end up costing them more money at the end of the day.
Yeah. Where I live, I mean, I think by the time you racked up about 20,000 in tickets, by the time they gave you the $20,152 ticket, they would go, you know what? You're coming with us. Where does he live that they let it rack up like that? That's amazing.
No shit. I live in Tennessee. They'll hunt you down and shoot you for that.
Fucking right, man.
Yeah. And I know I'm not the smartest member of the Shills by a long shot, but even I'm smart enough not to argue with the man with the badge and the gun.
Yeah.
Same here.
I mean, even without the badge, he's got the gun, man. Fuck, you know.
Well, Thor, Logic of the Gods had a good comment. He says, I think he's being interviewed in a home for the terminally bewildered.
And we also
it's an involuntary self-help facility.
we also just got a super chat there. Did you want to take that, Amy, or?
Sure. Gosh of Heckfire gave us $2 He says, Brainy Beaver Canucks.
Yeah.
You got 3 Canucks here. I hope you realize that.
Taking over YouTube. Actually,
Exactly.
they said that YouTubers in general, YouTube, like their channels were growing, typically by subscriber and stuff, 80% year over year. Like, so 80% on top on the next year, which is like exponential growth. But they actually said something about like Canadian channels have been doing particularly well. I think there's been a bit of an explosion up here. I don't know why. We had computers. I always have. Maybe I think it's because we've had really high costs. We have the highest cost internet in the world. It's fast. It's actually rated 4th in the world, but it's really expensive. And so we're just getting to the point where like really high speed internet is getting not so goddamn expensive. So we're able to stream and have these kinds of things now.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think that the Tonight Show is a prelude to Canadian invasion. I don't know. I think I need to call the White House and ask them to close the borders. I don't know.
Blame
I mean,
Canada.
if you're
Blame
Iranian Canadian, they already have, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Too late. My family infiltrated.
There you go.
Dick,
We're
you'll like
not even a real country anyway.
Dick, you'll appreciate this. Anacito Maldonado just said the Canadian boom is from the Red Green Show.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's an oldie. I love it.
If they don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy.
God damn right.
There you
Keep your
go.
on the ice.
And quit asking me to sprinkle them titties says because people like to watch kids' heads flapping around.
Yeah, that's right.
Like from
South
South
Park's
Park.
always the best.
That's like one of my
Oh,
favorite jokes is the history of Terrence and Phillip when they do their first show as little kids, and everyone just stares at them in bewilderment, and then in the middle of it, some woman starts screaming, "What's wrong with their heads?"
I've had people in arguments say, "Get out of here with your square wheels and stuff."
Our one road.
In our one road. Yeah, exactly. We only have one road.
Before I forget now, I want to give a big shout out here to Terry Davies over the Aussie Perspective. He's going live later tonight. That's Terry Davies over on the Aussie Perspective. And also it's movie night tonight. Movie night 2.0, Cy Strikling movie night. So, two big things to check out later when we're done here. And then I didn't forget and I got them in. Awesome. I didn't fuck up. I've been known to do that. Were we going to take a look at more of this guy's bullshit then, or what did we want to do?
No.
I think pushing that right. We're pushing that point where. Sorry, Blue, go ahead.
I fucked it up the last time. It's somebody else's turn.
Here's the thing. We're approaching that time, but we did get that super chat from John Rapp saying go ahead. So I think maybe we should put it to the rest of the chat. What do you guys think? Say,
Sure.
one keep going to wrap it up?
We might as well finish this one off and be done.
Yeah. Let's see what everybody in the chat says. We'll babble on for a minute like we actually have something to say.
There we go. One from TC Lucas, one from Godless Scummer, one from Quit Asking Me to Sprinkle Them Titties, one from Mippa69, one from Beach 8, one from Mr. Victory. I think it's decided.
Okay.
So.
What was answer one again, though? What was answer one?
Keep going.
Oh, okay. Right. All right. Okay. Well, then it's your fucking fault then if this doesn't go well.
It seems our audience is into medieval torture. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I love you too.
Why do I feel like I was just put in the Iron Maiden?
A bunch of people are typing 42.
That always happens.
666.
Yeah.
Devil's coming.
Too funny. Well, do we have it queued up still, Bull? Are we good to go? Oh, look at that. Why do I even ask?
Go for it.
Imbued in worldly wisdom, which is foolishness in the eyes of the Creator, and they give glory to themselves. These are glory seekers. They don't give glory to the Creator. They don't care to. They want the glory for themselves, and that glory will be removed from them, and they will be put to shame. They will be written. Their names will be written in the book of shame for all of eternity for the disgraceful harm that they've done to humanity for teaching such ridiculous stupidity that we live on a ball and I'm upside down. And it's funny that my body is actually being sucked onto this 1,000-mile-an-hour spinning ball, hurtling through space at 67,000 mile an hour. Horrendous stupidity, and people just go after this madness. And yet,
fucking argument from incredulity. First of all, the standard. Oh, you're on a spinning ball flying through space at 63,000. This is why we don't use those numbers because they sound fucking ridiculous.
Absolutely.
And second of all those ancient scientists and natural philosophers that you're pointing out, especially when you're talking about ancient ones, almost all of them were religious. So this whole they're not giving glory to the Creator. Yeah, they were. That's just bullshit. That's just straight up bullshit. Not every one of them was Galileo having a feud with the Pope.
And I've said it before. I will say it again. no flurf, that is also a Bible literalist who uses these sorts of arguments, seem to understand that what they're saying is, no, God can't be that big to create the universe as science is discovering it. He can only be this big, and he can only be made of plastic and fit on my dashboard.
And we just had a couple super chats here. Aimee, I'm guessing that's why you buzzed in, right?
Yes, please. Yeah. And Mr. Victory said, Mr. Victory gave us $5 American and he said sucked. And John Stott gave us Australian $5. He says, good on you, Blue. Got some Aussie shilling for you, mate. Thank you both for your support.
That was good. Oh, man. Well, he brought the good book and all that stuff in, so let's give him the shovel back. Let's see how far it goes. Let's do it.
I'm always willing to let them take the God route because despite being an agnostic, I've got a decent amount of knowledge on this stuff. So I love proving them wrong in their own field.
Yeah, myself as well. I totally agree there, man. Exactly.
Well, most of them have no clue that their own Pope Gregory, the Gregorian calendar, they based the exact calendar that all of their religious everything is based off of the movement of the stars. They can't even get around it.
Well, the stars just move around the firmament, man. That doesn't.
Well, it's more about. I mean, when I say the stars, I mean it's more about the planets' movement. But they just saw stars, like they just know stars, flat earthers.
Well, yeah, they just knew planets as wandering stars.
Yeah, I mean they looked through, and some of them were a little bit larger, through their telescope, a little bit like oranger and things, but that was about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, let's see what else this idiot has then.
I love the pose he's in right now. It's hilarious.
Little butterflies will flutter by and just not pay any attention to the gravity that keeps me sucked to the earth. And so, but we've all been sucked in by it. We've all been drawn in by the lies, because the bigger you tell them, the harder people fall. So, so my purpose in life is to, bust all the fictions, as I call it. I use an Australian colloquialism, and to deflate this Humpty Dumpty globe and Santa Ball and buffoonery, and bring back the ancient science.
The Coriolis effect states that when a moving object leaves
I just
the
gotta
ground,
see. I have to do this because I can do it too. I'm here to debunk your stupid magic pizza snow globe controlled by Sky Wizard. Hey, look, I can make it sound ridiculous too. Doesn't mean a fucking thing. Doesn't mean a thing.
Yeah,
you're just that shit pisses me off when when I have my debate with Hip Hop Hippie and I pulled up that video of how the speed of light was filmed with extremely fast cameras. And he goes, well, that just looks like a cartoon to me. That infuriated me so much. I'm like, you don't know what a fucking cartoon is. You don't understand it. Therefore, it looks like a cartoon. Everything in the fucking video is real.
Yeah. When this guy here, I want to address when he said, my purpose, it's my purpose or whatever. I can tell you exactly what his purpose sounds like. It's the sound you hear when somebody's trying to get the last of a big gulp. That's your fucking purpose, buddy.
Well, he did say suck, Dick.
That's what I'm talking about.
He pulled the bullshit gravity thing saying like butterflies just, they move along completely negating the force of gravity. Yeah, because they have these things called wings.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing that something could be stronger or weaker than something else? Wow. No way.
Like, oh, why doesn't water or why does water stick to the spinning ball, but these birds can fly? Because water doesn't have wings.
Yeah, and like, why is it so hard to understand? When I take a ball and throw it in the air, I impart force into the ball. But as the energy I've given to it, dissipates and it's gone, gravity becomes the stronger and it falls. What the hell's wrong with that? Why is that so impossible to figure out?
Now, when they say that damn butterfly shit, I want to smack two bricks together with their head right between them.
That'd be a good one.
I really do. That's just
And have you noticed
idiotic, goddamn idiotic shit.
Yeah, they seem to think that more than one force can't operate at the same time. But if you noticed his entire rant, he's had his eyes closed. It's either A, his eyes are severely photosensitive and maybe he should invest in some sunglasses, or B, he's completely lying and can't look at you while he does it, or C, he has, again, some sort of schizophrenic type behavior pattern. I don't know. It's just really weird that he has to close his eyes throughout his entire rant.
He could be on smack. Just saying.
Yeah, that's
it's always a possibility. Aimee, I'm guessing you wanted to do that super chat there. John Rapp's doing some shilling for others there, which is perfectly fine.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. John Rapp gave us Australian $5. He says, please visit Terry Davies' Aussie Perspective. The guys are laid back, fair dinkum, awesome, and welcome you Northern Hemispheres on the show. Thank you so much, John.
Yeah, it is a fantastic show. I've been over a couple of times, once even too drunk. And Terry's awesome. It's an amazing show. It's fantastic. He's great. We've had him over here. You'd really love it. John Rapp, please drop the link in the chat for us, buddy. That would be fantastic. There it comes.
Oh,
there we go.
I think Davros might have been a step ahead of them there.
That goes to figure, though. I'm a gray lurker, John. It's funny. Right on. So, well, this guy's certifiably stupid. We know that for sure. He's definitely leaning on the Bible as if it's some kind of proof where it does no such thing.
Yeah, so is what's coming next, though. I don't know if you can see what's in the top left corner of the screen right now. We're switching to a different content creator in the same video. We're now doing fucking ODD TV.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to need a bigger shovel.
Yeah. Taller hip boots.
Well, let's fire a little bit more up then. Oh.
Let's see what ODD TV has to say about the spinning ball illusion.
Yeah.
My impression of him.
The Earth continues to rotate, meaning that when shooting a gun at a certain distance, the bullet would be a little off due to the Earth's rotation. If that's the case, then airplanes would have to account for the Coriolis effect, but they don't. This is only a few things that work better on a flat, motionless Earth. Do you need 100 excuses as to why you're not feeling any motion or seeing any curvature? Are those excuses easier to believe? Or is it easier to use Occam's razor and go with what our senses are telling us? The Earth is flat and not spinning.
That is not how Occam's razor works. It is not the simplest solution and is usually correct. It's the one that requires the least assumptions. And not seeing curvature or not sensing motion requires no assumptions if you understand how fucking motion works. You don't feel motion, you feel changes, you feel acceleration, you feel changes in velocity.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that simple, ODD, you dumbass.
Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for the slight motion you feel of the car driving over an uneven surface, when you're in motion and at a set speed, you don't notice.
I was just going to say,
get on a bullet train.
You only feel the side of the car pressing up against you when you go around a curve. Boom.
Yeah. Yeah, when you get some G-forces pulling in the opposite direction where it's not normally pulling you, then you feel it, right? But, on a straight, bullet train, car, airplane, doesn't matter what vehicle you're in, if you take out any motion due to turbulence or the road or the tracks or blah, 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 you won't feel it unless there's acceleration or deceleration. Fact.
Absolute fact.
Yeah,
And sorry, go ahead there, Kim. Go ahead.
Well, just a quick kind of internal thing here. John Rapp, I don't know why it was rejecting your link, because you're a member, which puts you above mods, I think, and I can't moderate you, so you already were moderated. I don't know why your link didn't work there. I'm sorry about that. That's all.
Yeah, that's weird. We'll get the link in there, though. We'll get it done.
Oh, yeah. It went in. Like, Davros got it. It was just...
okay.
John tried to, and it wouldn't let him for some reason.
Well, at least it's in there.
What is this fuck knuckle gonna do?
You don't want to fucking know, man.
Shall we find out?
Shall we find
He's
out?
standing there like he's about to say, "I'm Mark Sargent."
Uh-huh. That's what worries me.
Yeah, I know.
I'm Mark Sargent, and I'm an flat earther.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I always hear when he says it.
Let's go.
Real quick, let's kind of just explain the Coriolis effect in layman's terms. The Coriolis effect is the effect that when the bullet leaves the barrel of the gun, it is actually leaving the surface of the earth. So as the bullet leaves the barrel of the gun, the earth is still rotating, and the bullet is not rotating with the earth. So the earth will actually rotate out from underneath of the bullet while it is in flight.
That's not a very good explanation.
Not very good at all.
The fuck it would.
And the plane lands perfectly near. Pause. Has he ever? I wonder if he's ever heard of a side slip and how often they're done.
Yeah, and
basically when the wind is not cooperating and the plane has to come in basically fucking sideways.
Yeah,
it's called grabbing.
Yeah.
How many bullets? How many bullets do you know that have got fucking pilots in them? You fucking twat!
Took the words out of my mouth. I was getting ready to say that planes have steering yokes. A fucking bullet doesn't.
Oh,
that and engines to counter the drag and everything. Just bullets are basically in free fall as soon as the powder's done burning.
Well,
yeah, as soon as they're out of the barrel, they're not accelerating anymore.
The fact that this idiot cannot differentiate between a projectile and a motorized propelled vehicle is a joke and a half unto itself, man. Fuck.
Well, airplanes don't do side slips all by themselves. You've got to do a little something to help them.
Oh yeah.
So wait,
yeah,
so
and take the wings off the airplane mid-flight and shut off the engines and watch what happens. Yeah, falls to the ground like a brick. It's funny how it works.
Yeah, kind of a lawn dart at that point.
Well, shall we let the can of worms get opened all the way? Because it looks like it's going to get worse.
Oh yeah,
undoubtedly.
It's ODD, so it has to.
Yeah. Captain Oblivious.
Wait. Okay, yeah, pause.
Yeah, really. Did you ever hear of aircraft carriers?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, I am nowhere near a military expert, but planes absolutely land on moving surfaces all the goddamn time.
You're
yeah.
yes.
In fact, what they do is they go against the wind and they go to what's called like landing speed. It's basically like full frickin' tilt, so they can go as fast as possible against the wind, so the plane has everything to its advantage. So it has the most ability to try to get on the surface of the, you know what I mean? They're matching speed, keeping wind speed up over the wings, so they can get down to a real low surface speed. But I mean, you've seen them come in; they still come in pretty hot. I mean, a fighter's just already a dart.
And that's why they have to catch. They actually have to catch a hook to slow them down, because they can't have the brakes do it for them.
And actually, just to let all you Americans know, if you actually go look on, I'm joking. If you go look online and you actually look at the difference in aircraft carrier sizes, I think China's starting to get some that are a little bigger, but actually America's aircraft carriers are probably twice the length of the average other aircraft carrier in the world. Which that they're not that many of ultimately, really.
Yeah, no, they're massive. Holy,
we're way bigger. Like they're way bigger than other aircraft carriers in the world.
Oh yeah, I saw a thing on it recent, and there was a point when the UK and a couple of people had equivalent size aircraft carriers, and then the Americans stepped it up a notch, and that was it. Game over. Don't remember when that was exactly, but I
mean, that's what happens when you have like 50 different bases around the world you have to protect, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Holy, do they have the machine? I love this quote on the screen. I'm loving this. I can't wait to see where it's about to go.
What does it say? I knew we had a problem at Caltech when I never got to see a orbit. So you never looked up, I guess?
Yeah. I have seen like orbiting. I have seen objects orbiting the Earth go over my head when I'm out in the wilderness, and you get those unbelievably clear skies where you don't get the light pollution. I mean, seriously, buddy, just get out of your fucking mother's basement for once in your life and do something.
You know what? That's a really great point, because here's the thing. I work in a very blue collar industry, and the people I work with, generally, they're not interested in this kind of stuff. But every now and then it'll come out that I have a YouTube channel, and they'll say, "Oh, what do you do?" And I'll explain that one of the big things I do is debunk flat Earth. And they'll say, "Wait, people still believe the Earth is flat?" And I'll say, "Oh yeah." And eventually they'll say something like, "But what about satellites?" And I say, "Oh, they're all fake." And they say, "But I can see them on a clear night." Like, even people who have zero interest in this stuff, have zero knowledge on it, have zero want to gain knowledge on it, they still know they can see satellites at night.
Yeah. I mean, they're not actually UFOs, and if you're patient enough, they'll come around again.
Well, that's what they do.
Yeah. Oh, I love these guys are hilariously funny. I'll admit, I get a kick out of the fact that I know that when they watch something like our coverage of their videos and hear us all laughing and giggling, it infuriates them. And I like that. I think it's great.
Oh,
fuck
yeah,
you, buddy. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
I'm also not sure. I'm also not sure what seeing a satellite in orbit has to do with Caltech specifically.
I didn't know Caltech launched satellites.
Well,
don't think they do. Pretty sure they own some.
And when did Captain Obvious get tenure? Yeah. I had never heard about that.
Well, should we see where he goes with that quote?
Yeah.
At the risk of losing more brain cells, yeah, let's go ahead.
I'm already short a monitor. I might as well wreck the other one.
Here we go.
Oven mitts, my man. That's the secret.
Yeah, I need to do it.
Weather is a constant blending of the basic elements: air, water, and sun. It all starts with the sun. This tremendous white-hot ball of gas, 750,000 miles across, supplies the power that drives our weather machine.
There's no fusion in the sun. They don't know how the sun works.
The sun is a gigantic atomic furnace, consuming itself at the rate of...
Here's all this educational information. Cut to a crazy guy in a car saying, they don't know how the sun works. What?
pretty sure they got a damn good idea of how it works. The basics are thus: gravity and gamma pressure are in opposition, and fusion of hydrogen into helium is taking place in our sun currently. Eventually, it will convert from helium into iron and other heavier elements until the sun runs out of fuel that it can convert, and then it will turn into essentially a dead star.
Well, that's after the
first
supergiant phase.
Yeah, for the small our sun will do that, but the larger ones, supernova, and make new stars.
Right. Well, I didn't want to complicate it for the flurfs listening. I wanted to explain our sun, just our ordinary little tiny yellow sun that's a dime a dozen throughout the universe.
Yeah, absolutely. This bothers me so much. They don't know how the sun works. Okay, spectroscopy is a thing, and you guys need to learn it. It's very important. It can teach us a lot of things. Basically, once you understand how light works, you can learn a lot about all of the light around you, like the sun. I can't put this in better words because I'm not an expert on spectroscopy, but I know it absolutely kills flat Earth.
Yep. I was waiting for this, he's sitting in his car up on cinder blocks. I'm waiting for his kids in the back to pipe up with, Daddy, are we there yet?
Listening to this guy talk about they don't know how the sun works or whatever reminds me of a proctologist trying to fix your car. Would you get your hands out of the fucking tailpipe? The problem's under the hood. It's not going to work.
It wasn't his hand in the tailpipe.
Well, should we let the foolish be foolish?
Why not?
Why not?
I can take your stupid. Bring it on.
billions of pounds of matter per second.
It's not burning anything. It doesn't have to. It's a converter. Of what? I don't know. Nobody knows. But that's what it does. That's the only thing it can do because that's...
Damn. Yeah.
And the weather
Let Blue out of his cage here.
Well, yeah, I do want to go to Blue, but also, it's not burning anything. It's a converter. That's what burning is. It converts something from one state to another. Energy doesn't come out of nowhere. Sorry. Go ahead, Blue.
No, God.
I mean, what do you think combustion is anyways? It's just a chemical process.
Yeah. Jesus goddamn Christ. It's a fusion reaction, you dipshit. It is converting hydrogen into helium. Hello. When it gets done doing that, it'll turn helium into something else, you dumbass. It'll keep
Carbon's on the list.
It'll keep doing that till it gets to iron, and then shit goes crazy. Hello.
Yeah. That's boom time, baby.
That's boom time, exactly.
I love how he says we have no idea. Are you kidding me? We can almost do it for ourselves, you fucking idiot. Jesus Christ.
Almighty.
And yeah, and Mike71 made a great comment in the chat. If you don't know, shut up. Like, why are you speaking as though we're supposed to listen to you if you just admitted you don't know?
Yeah, better to keep your mouth shut and be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt.
Bingo.
Yep.
Fucking right, man.
Groucho Marx, 1958.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I didn't know the date, so I wasn't going to do it. Thanks.
Because he wants us to doubt that he might be an idiot. Just see how that works.
I think he removed that from any doubt to begin with.
Yeah.
Well, let's can't dazzle him with brilliance and baffle him with bullshit.
Oh, that was funny. That was like an uptown red green remark.
I'm sorry that I keep being the one to call pause. By the way, this is just really goddamn frustrating.
Well, there's 4.5 minutes left. There's 4.5 minutes left of this video.
The end is nearer.
We should be done by tomorrow night's stream, so that's
right.
okay. We can just leave this one running.
I think we should just let this fucking play out and close at the end.
4.5 minutes though.
We'll never get through 4 minutes, but let's say hold off as long as you can until you are about to explode and then call pause. Let's try. Yeah. Okay.
Our daily lives. Yes, we have always been at the mercy of weather. When the weather is nice, we are happy. If the weather is hot and muggy, we tend to be frustrated, irritable, and even criminal. But if the fog rolls in, we are apt to be depressed. Thunderstorms cause fear and apprehension. Icy winds and...
Wilbur Voliva, a famous flat earther in the early 20th century, gave lectures all over America against Newtonian astronomy. He would begin by walking on stage with a book, a balloon, a feather, and a brick, and ask the audience, how is it that a law of gravitation can pull up a toy balloon and cannot put up a brick? I throw up this book, why doesn't it go on up? That book went up as far as the force behind it forced it, and it fell because it was heavier than the air, and that is the only reason. I cut the string of a toy balloon. It rises, gets to a certain height, and then it begins to settle. I take this brick and a feather. I blow the feather. Yonder it goes. Finally, it begins to settle and comes down. This brick goes up as far as the force forces it, and then it comes down because it is heavier than the air. That is all. David Wardlaw Scott says, any object which is heavier than the air and which is unsupported has a natural tendency to fall by its own weight. Newton's famous apple at Woolsthorpe, or any other apple when ripe, loses hold of its stalk, and being heavier than the air, drops as a matter of necessity to the ground, totally irrespective of any attraction of the earth. For if such attraction existed, why does not the earth attract the rising smoke, which is not nearly so heavy as the apple? The answer is simple, because the smoke is lighter than the air, and therefore
This
does not
stupid.
fall.
My brain is melting out of my ears.
God.
Are you fucking serious? How many times do we gotta say the same goddamn thing over and fucking over? You know, Jesus Christ. There is a complete difference between a fundamental force like gravity, electromagnetism, nuclear force, and whatnot, and states of fucking matter like density. You know, and why doesn't the fucking apple fall up? It's less dense in the air above it than it is below it, you dumb motherfuckers.
Right.
Fucking jeez.
I would love to see somebody take the severed head of a horse and stuff it so far up his ass he could fucking choke on it. This guy drives me crazy. Fuck, I hate him.
And you know what? You don't have to take anything Dubé says seriously, because he said the following words and he meant them. The Earth's fucking flat, Holocaust denied. Hitler was cool and not a bad guy. That is lyrics. That is lyrics from Eric Dubé.
So, in other words, a piece of shit.
Yes.
Total piece of shit.
I
like to take
really
that shit out in a fucking field, find the tallest goddamn tree I could fucking find, tie a rope around his fucking balls, lift him off the ground, and see how long it takes. About 30 seconds before I start screaming his fucking head off. Gravity is real! Gravity is real!
Yeah, I may have to talk to some of my colleagues at the American Psychiatric Association who create the DSM for our profession and see if we can't figure out a way to get fecal brain syndrome in the DSM.
Yes.
It should be there because this is...
Oh, God.
Oh, every time I hear that Dubé's voice, I mean, even if he was just ordering a hamburger, it would piss me off, right? It just drives me crazy.
Well, would it be amazing to like work at a call center and hear his voice and just go, wait a second,
Logical. They could actually...
you're that 200 proofs idiot. No, you wouldn't say anything. What you would do is you would hope that you're working for like OnStar and he pinged you for directions to somewhere.
I was going to say
enough that I've worked for. Oh, sorry, Logical. Go ahead.
It's bad enough Dubé has this monotonatic voice, but then he manages to just ooze the arrogance and the condescension along with it at the same time while saying completely idiotic things. You know, what's not to hate about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Dunning-Kruger is strong with this one.
Yeah, it sounds like he's speaking under duress, like having a gun pointed to his head, while stoned on cocaine, so he's still all arrogant about what he's saying. He just doesn't want to die. It's really a weird combination. I don't get it.
Our producer wanted to get a word in here, right, Paul?
Yeah, I just wanted to address like Logical Troglodyte here. I wanted to say you could always call it Fee-Core syndrome. Kill two birds with one stone, and the misnomer fits.
That's a good one, Boole.
That's perfect.
Yeah, Scott, I worked in a call center. I still know the name, address, and bank details of everyone who was ever rude to me. This is true. Don't fuck with call center employees.
Yeah,
seriously.
man.
I worked for a couple like phone companies and things in call centers, and if I ever heard Dubé's voice, I would fuck up everything on his account and then quit on the spot.
Oh, yeah. Instantly. And giggle all the way to the unemployment office.
Hell yes.
And or the federal penitentiary.
Yeah, well, you know, it'd be worth it.
Yeah, it's totally worth it.
Yeah. You go to jail. What are you in for? Oh, I screwed over the entire life of a complete moron flat earther. Hey, well done. Let's play dominoes. You know. Well, let's let it play a bit more. I don't think we got through the 4 minutes, right? So, you know.
You are an evil man, Dick.
Hey, the crowd asked me just follow the orders.
For the rest of us, it's just watching straight off a video or straight off a film, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, these fucking idiots. Can't they do anything right? Fuck.
What difference does it make if it's a globe or if it's flat? They're stealing your money and showing you cartoons and CGI while they steal your money.
Wouldn't that make a difference if it was a globe or if it was flat?
Because they keep showing you cartoons of a globe. They show you CGI of a globe. They show you Hollywood trickery of a globe. They're stealing your fucking money. If it's flat, that begs the question, hey.
So this guy actually believes that some unnamed small little group that in the background, we're just going to go with them, are paying the $300 or $400 million of a big sci-fi budget movie just to make sure that this lie is propagated. Okay, so it must be the biggest lie in the history of humanity because we're spending serious amounts of money. We've got the Indian Space Agency. We've got NASA, on and on. You see where I'm going with this, right? So why? Just fucking answer me. Why? What does it matter? If the earth was flat, I still have to go and get my fucking mail, go to the store and get my groceries, get my son to school, and on and on and on. Why? Crickets. That's right. Yep.
And I just want to point out really quickly, I've done this a million fucking times, but A, none of those images are cartoons. Second, they were all made with different imagery, different software, different technology. Some of them were pieced together, some of them were not. So obviously they're going to look different. At no point, any of those photos, any of the ones that were composites or anything like that, NASA has never once claimed this is an accurate single photograph of the Earth. Not once. They always tell you exactly how it's made.
Yeah, I mean, the guy complaining about the stitched together shot has the function built into his cell phone. Come on, fuck! It doesn't make it fake.
It's just a panorama. It's a really big ass panorama. Aimee, you wanted to get in here, right?
Yes, please. I have a good comment from Godless Scummer. He says, is DK saying if he had his way that Dubé's bank account would go the same way as Jism's PayPal? Yeah. And
That's funny.
yeah, yeah, and this whole cartoon thing. I mean, in 1972, honestly, we really have the technology for CGI stuff. Did we have computer generated images then? Really?
And fun fact, if they were making it with software, take the 72 Blue Marble, for instance. If they were making that with software, why would they make the layer of black in behind the Earth completely inconsistent so that you're unable to easily crop it out and create an alpha layer in a Photoshop program? It's almost like you're looking at actual film and spots that, spots where the black is slightly lighter. What you're seeing there is very, 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 very washed out stars.
Right.
Right.
I mean, think about it. I mean, Star Trek, the original series, came out well after those photos. All right. The Enterprise is an 11-foot fucking model. And the best they could do with the huge Paramount budget on TV was to make it look like an 11-foot model floating through space.
I know.
Yeah. Some of those effects have not
Isn't that
aged
showing
well.
you something, you fucking moron?
Yeah. You go back to any of the science fiction of the time, and even the really, really good stuff. I mean, it doesn't take much to see, but yeah, that's ridiculous. And, like, what would a bank of blinking lights that are all the, 4 or 5 different colors that's like 12 feet long and 4 feet tall be of use to anyone? You would just stand there and go, what button is what? It's just a joke,
John Rapp and the Enterprise whooshes. This is a very good point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
really? That's some dense particles in space.
I was just recalling a scene. I think it was where the USS Constitution was getting screwed up by the big giant planet killer, and they show the nacelle on the ship, and it looks like a dog got a hold of it and chewed it up, and that's how they made the effect of the ship getting screwed up.
Damn.
Well, a little more then?
Might as well.
What the hell have you been showing us this ball for all this time? What have you been doing with our money? Did you guys go to space? Did you guys just make this shit up and stuck us on a cartoon ball? They stole your mind. They stole my mind. They know what you believe is bullshit. They basically stole our minds and enslaved us by showing us a picture of a ball. Said, here's what you live on, it's a ball.
Sir, have you been on the network?
No. You know how I know? I tried to debunk the flat earth and I failed. That's how most of us get started. We try to debunk the flat earth and we fail.
It's playing everywhere. Tech's trying to shut it down.
Pause.
Oh, for fuck's sakes, here we go with the 8 inches per mile squared.
8 inches per
Dumb
mile squared
fucks
is
don't
a
even know
rough
what the
rule of
fuck
thumb that works only with land surveys and gets vastly inaccurate over long distances. The end.
Oh, wow.
And he claims that they stole his mind. What, does his brain not exist in his skull anymore? And where did they put it? And why did they steal it? I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, these
And
idiots
also-
just don't know how to fucking think for themselves.
Well, they didn't.
No.
And how fucking stupid are human beings in your mind if they can be fooled by a photo?
Well,
Really?
They stole his mind. Like, they didn't get much. Like,
No, it's
petty
it fit on a
theft.
really small little cracker and it was eaten by the dog. I mean, it's over.
I'd call that petty theft. Just saying.
Larceny under $5,000.
Larceny under 500 grams.
and I just the whole every flat earther starts trying to debunk flat Earth. Here's the thing: so does every debunker, except we actually did it. We're
We
not
actually
morons.
succeed.
Several times. Over and over and over.
Yeah, there just comes a time when
Lucas-
you just gotta quit asking the questions and accept the answers. Or there needs to be a time when you quit trying to find fault with the globe model and show me some fucking evidence for a flat model.
That would be pretty handy.
That would be nice.
Yeah, it
TC
would.
Lucas said, logical troglodyte. I have an idea where they put his brain up his ass.
Yeah, strung to a few other flat Earth brains in sort of like a pearl necklace, something like beads strung together. Yeah, that's it.
And there was another thing he brought up that always pisses me off. They're stealing our money. Okay, if you do the math, you take NASA's budget, you divide it by the American population, each person pays about $60 a year. What
Yeah.
exactly were
And-
you all going to do to save the world with your $60 this year?
And well, with the intelligence this guy's showing us, I'm sure he's making so much that's being stolen. I mean, really, buddy, what are you missing? A chocolate bar? Fuck off.
Exactly. Who's stealing this money? You're talking about the people that are being that have jobs because they work for NASA.
They're paying more taxes than they're stealing from you, you idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not to mention the fact that he's using a device known as a computer that came out of NASA's race to the moon in the 1960s and trying to say NASA is evil. So you're willing to take all the benefits that NASA has handed with their, research into development of new technologies, but at the same time saying they're evil and, go be a fucking Mormon. Go live in a cave somewhere. Rub two sticks together. It might be safer for you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got it. It's those NASA subcontractors. They're the ones stealing the money. They take that money and all they do is hand over like shit like fucking rocket ships and stuff,
Yeah.
Goddamn Boeing, figuring out how to make jet engines more fuel efficient so I can get to California easier and safer. Them fucking horrible, evil people.
Dirty bastards.
I mean, there's only one thing we wanted from that money, and one thing only, and that's beer and popcorn. So to me, it's all wasted as far as I'm concerned. I think I agree now.
I'm on his side now. Yeah.
I want my fucking beers.
Thor Logic of the Gods just busted out a quote from Full Metal Jacket, so I got to read that in my best impression of Mr. Aimee. Looks like the best part of you ran down the crack of your mama's ass and ended up as a brown stain on the mattress. I think you've been cheated. Fucking love that movie.
It's awesome.
Well, God, I'm tempted to say, should we go on? Because he's going to go on with the fucking 8 inches per mile squared.
It's 26 seconds, guys. Come on. We can do it.
All right.
Okay,
26 seconds.
Let's let it run then. Let's let it run then.
Let it go. Go to the end.
Is it just 26 seconds of that shit? Maybe.
Just push, yeah.
I was
I
just
think-
wondering.
God, it might be.
I think
But
so.
it probably took him 26 seconds to reread it to make sure it was spelled properly.
Stupid.
Oh, the
then
end is
he-
just the plug to his channel.
The watermark, yeah. Stupid flicks.
That was it. Sweet.
Well,
we didn't have to go into any more.
He aptly named his channel, Flat Earth A-hole and produced by Stupaflix. I mean, it doesn't get no more fucking stupid than that. Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
With guest appearances from 2 anti-Semites.
What was that, Beaver?
I said Goop's pretty bad. I don't know.
Good Lord.
Oh. Well, I would have to say that we've seen some unbelievable stupid tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you one thing. The most unbelievably horrific part of any mud flood is the boardwalk sidewalk. So watch out. I mean, what am I supposed to say to that guy? Fuck.
Fuck, I feel like I need to go watch some reruns of Ren and Stimpy just to rebuild my brain after this level of fucking stupid.
Ren and Stimpy,
man.
and that's saying something.
Yeah, and then, that guy that, anybody who's sitting in a car like that tells you we don't know how the sun works, I mean, just stop, drop, and believe right on the spot, because, I mean, he sold me. That's it. I'm done. I'm good. And Dubé, you can lick the dirty shit off my asshole. I hate your guts, buddy. Fuck you. And yeah, that's me. I'm good.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again about Dubé. I hope he gets thrown into a furnace located somewhere in Germany. Just gonna say it. I have no sympathy for that man. I fucking hate him. Fucking Hitler fanboy wannabe. And yeah, the mud flood stuff was stupid. There was nothing there, as there usually is. What the hell was the first video we watched?
I don't remember now.
The radio wave.
Oh, radio
thing,
waves. Yeah. Which yeah,
right.
Like, before we started the stream, I heard the first 15 seconds of that, did some basic Googling, and got the answer from the same site that he was on.
Yeah. And sad to say, that was the most intelligent video we saw tonight.
I know.
It was, yeah.
And it's so ridiculous because the title, all you had to do was flip the way it's worded a tiny bit, and it is actually correct. Radio propagation proves globe Earth model. There. Okay, now it's true. There we go.
Yep. Well, should we go around the table properly here? I mean, I went and Dix went, but should we just kind of get a summation from everyone here? All right. Well, from the top of our list, Aimee Hogan, what do you think?
Oh my gosh. This to me is pretty close to the worst of humanity. I mean, anti-Semites, neo-Nazis, idiots, flat Earth. They remind me a lot of petulant children too, the way they act so defiant, like, yeah, prove me wrong. Well, we have 1,000 times, but that's beside the point. These people are something else. I'm just, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. It's just real bad. Oh, and I want to thank you to Big Blue and to Brainy Beaver for coming on tonight. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, me too.
Awesome.
Always a pleasure to have both of you on. I'll get to you guys last because guests always get the last word. But beforehand, Ilya, you were gone for a little bit, but you came back. What do you think of all the stupid we've seen tonight?
Well, if I didn't have a headache from packing my entire life into garbage bags just now, I do after hearing that video. So that was a whole lot of stupid. And a whole lot of stupid that I was able to pack to. So there you go.
Fair enough.
That sounds like the title to an 80s song. A whole lot of stupid I could pack to. I like it.
Actually, I like that. I can see that
Let's
song in my
write
head.
it.
Be like,
Let's write it, Dick. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do this. All right.
Like, you could even do that as like a relationship that's falling apart, and you're just listening to a whole lot of stupid while you pack your bags. That's a great little country song.
Yeah, that really works. I like it.
Logical Troglodyte, what do you think of everything we've seen today, sir?
Most of what I think really shouldn't be said on air. I don't want to demonetize the entire fucking channel. All I could really say is, they're just the flat earthers and other idiots of their ilk are just the barnacles on the bottom of society. Scrape them off, send them to a deserted island, and let them fight it out for who's got the dumbest fucking idea. And I'm an hour late from what I told Babes we would be on the air for, and if I get in trouble, all I can do is buy her a plane ticket up to Canada and come have a word with you guys in person. because I'm definitely blaming Kevin. I'm blaming Dick. It's all your fucking fault. You know, well, never mind.
Fucking Yanks and their blame Canada. This happens every 10 or 12 years. I blame South Park.
Just remember, Canada is the only country to successfully burn down the White House.
Exactly.
Although I think we were British nationalists at the time. But anyway, Steaming Cup of Reason, what do you think, sir?
Semantics.
Where to begin? Video number 1. A dumb fuck who tries to dismantle all of modern radio telecommunications because he can't figure out that his phone don't work because the string between the two cans broke. Video number 2. Well, that was a dumb shit, wasn't he? He's got some kind of fetish for wood-covered streets. Maybe it's because of all the mud and horse shit after the rain. I wonder. And video number 3, well, that was just a whole pile of fucking stupid. I really am desperate for some intelligent conversation, so I think I'm going to go find myself a cheeseburger.
I like it.
Excellent. Let's see, who else do we have here? Tattie-Bogle. Sir, you were a little quiet for the last little bit there. Let it loose, man.
Oh man, I'll tell you, I had to be quiet there because Jesus motherfucking Christ, that cum stain that is fucking just put that shite on my fucking telly and on my computer. I tell you what, I would get more sense out the skid marks for last week's fucking jockey shots than would it that prick any day of the fucking week. I tell you what, mate, lick the sweat off my balls because it's going to be fucking salty. And after watching that, I'm fucking salty now. Prick! How dare you fucking insult me with that bullshit? How dare you even fucking come into this world? Go fucking apologise to every fucking tree, every plant, and you know what? Go smack your ma for me and all, wank.
Very well said. Erudite as ever. I love it. So to our producer, I'm not going to ask what you thought of this. I'm going to ask, why have you done this to us?
Yeah. Well, I didn't. This is the first time I've ever done this show, so
sure, shifting the blame.
Shifting the blame on Dick, of course, because who else? And I have to apologize to our audience for this, and I also want to apologize to my computer. And to tell these fucking idiots, these 3 fucking idiots who made these videos tonight, you owe me a new hard drive because there's not enough bleach in the world to clean them.
Your poor computer. Your poor computer. The things we subject them to, man. If the computers ever rebel against us, I'll completely understand why.
Mine's just gonna be upset with me all the porn it's plugged with.
Well, speaking
I
of
feel
Brainy
that.
Beaver there, what did you think of everything we saw tonight, Beaver?
All pretty crazy. I myself am shocked that they laid down wood for road surfaces. That's what I got to talk about. But yeah, other than that, no, it's a long, arduous, just slog fest of this. This kind of why do we do this to ourselves? I get a little bit on my own time too.
I've asked it too.
We're all gluttons for punishment, I think. Big Blue, let's hear your thoughts, sir.
Oh Lord, where to start? Okay, I really don't care if these guys think the Earth is flat. I don't give a shit if they don't believe in gravity. It doesn't bother me that they think space isn't real. And I am totally ambivalent to their complaints about NASA stealing their money. What bothers me is they continue to exhale and increase the CO2 levels in our goddamn atmosphere. And I want them to stop doing that, and I want them to stop now. Thank you very much.
Hey, knock, knock, flat earther. It's a tree. I want my fucking air back.
Exactly.
The trees rebel. Oh, God.
That's how the Ents became, right? They went at flat earth. They wanted the oxygen back.
That's the last time flat earth died down. That was why the Ents came. Now I'm looking through the list here. I don't think I missed anybody for the roundtable there. Did I? Has anybody not had a chance to speak up?
Tatty.
Oh, Tatty did his little rant.
Yeah, Tatty got his.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
I think we're good then. We
got
a super chat there. Did you want to take that, Amy?
Yes, please. It's from John Rapp. He gave us Australian $2. He says, "Good job, Bool, Big Blue, Brainy, Elia, and the Shills." Thank you very much, John. We appreciate it.
Thanks, John.
You're the best, John.
Hey, John.
Cheers, John, man.
John, we very much appreciate you.
So we should get a little last minute chilling out here before we're done. So we got to shout out Terry Davies, the Aussie Perspective, fantastic stream, group panel, very much like us. If you're watching us, you should be watching them. And it's movie night tonight as well. Cy Strikling Movie Night 2.0. And again, they're basically a show just like us. So if you're watching us, get over and watch them too. They're fantastic viewing and they should be subbed and viewed by all.
Yeah.
And on that note, also, tomorrow night on the show, on our regular time, because Saturday is staying at the same time, we've got great creator, Godless Scummer. You're going to love this guy. And we've got Conspiracy Cats joining us as well. Going to be a great show. Don't miss it.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Any other housekeeping to be done? Or
Yeah, maybe before the next show, we should all consider getting a colonoscopy.
That's funny.
I don't hate that idea.
Well, there's the vote, and we're done there.
The only thing I can say is just thank you, everybody, for coming.
All right. Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, you know what? No.
Take it away, Nick.
Well, I think on that note, ladies and gentlemen, this edition of the Silly Shill Show has come to a wrap. I want to thank Brainy Beaver and Blue Marble Science for having a great show with us. I want to thank pseudoscience in general, but specifically those fucking morons for giving us something to point and laugh at. And remember, folks, pseudoscience can be a disease. It gets into the brain and it's a true infection. There's only one cure, and that's education. Get yourself to a library and read a book soon. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're out of here. Let's say goodnight, everybody. Good night.
Nighty night, all.
Catch you on the flip side.
Let's roll it. Yeah, somebody always throws it in for him when he's gone. It's awesome. All right. Oh, yeah, I got to fix the end credits, too. I got lots of work coming up.
Someone has a typo.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it's gone anyway.
So the articles I'm reading right now are saying that they have suspicion that this coronavirus could become the fifth member of the party of viruses like the common cold that we just have on Earth now.
Oh, wow. That's intense.
It was in Flatters. It says something like he is a man in disguise.
Yeah, that could be.
Anyway, they said like when you go to the draconian measure shutting down those cities like that, what you're trying to do is stop a galloping horse that's already left the barn.
It's so right.
That's why I prepared Dying Light. I don't know if anybody's ever played that. But a zombie virus that forms into one city and that's how they do the complicated. But that's what this reminds me of. Like whole cities, whole provinces kind of shut
Yeah,
down.
it's still spreading, and they said the problem is with sustained. We now have sustained. It's mostly in China. But we have sustained human-to-human transmission. They said if this keeps up, they said it's going to join the party and become one of the new. Like they named the club. They've got just 4-letter designations because they're so common. This one's 2019 NOCG or something like that. Anyways, but it's basically they said there's a good chance it could just become one of the lexicon of viruses that we have on Earth.
Fucking hell.
Well, remember, the only reason people are